last gasp, do you think, for Nick Robertson?
Well, I always hesitate to say that, but yeah, the reality-wise, you look towards the end of the season playoff if he's not a part of it. You know, there was thinking about defensemen. There was another guy, Stuart Percy, years ago, was a second-round pick. He was one of the 3 stars, in two of his first games, and then it never panned out. But the point I mean is, Nick Robertson burst on the scene, played in the bubble in a playoff game when nobody really, thought that would be possible. I like him. Again, another drafted guy that you hope finds a role. We know all about the injuries that have happened. It seemed like as well that he was kind of grabbing a role, but then Bobby McMahon ended up grabbing a more definitive role. So you've seen the offseason acquisitions, Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi get a lot more comfortable these last 15 games. And then you saw as well, it's a Bobby McMahon season opportunity that, maybe Nick Robertson can now.
With Mitch Marner out, that means there's a change to the top line. And in place of Marner will be a combination of Pontus Holberg and Tyler Bertuzzi playing with Austin Matthews. It says a lot about Holberg that he's trusted to take on top line role. But Bertuzzi was immediately elevated. Bertuzzi and Matthews spending more time together than apart in the absence of Marner. 25-plus minutes at 5-on-5. It went poorly in Montreal. It went really well in Philly. And not to say that it can't work, but Pontus Holberg kind of seems like the key, because it is not defensive masterclass that you get from Tyler Bertuzzi. So in order for things to sort of stabilize, in order for Matthews and Bertuzzi to truly explore their partnership, it feels like they need a defensive anchor, and Marner's normally that, and Pontus Holberg has been chosen to do that tonight.
It's funny, you think the first year they were together with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Connor Brown scored 20 goals, Zach Hyman scored 10 goals. Just in light of Hyman getting close to 50 and Connor Brown getting his first of the season. Point is, Zach Hyman played that role in the big line, right? And Mike Babcock kept saying, no, we need a different animal there. We need somebody that can get the pucks and play two-way hockey to be on the big line. And that's, to your point, the theory about Pontus Holberg there. Talk about maybe seizing an opportunity, Pontus Holberg on the first line. But, man, oh, man, whatever you can do to make Tyler Bertuzzi comfortable and show his wares and play his best, because this was a big last year trade deadline trade, him going to Boston. People forget that was a really big move, him going from Detroit to Boston, and we're just a year later. I mean, this guy, when his game's on, he's got, whether it's the offense, he's got the physicality, he's got the skill that wasn't showing the first half of the season. So I think probably the logic in Holberg playing there is exactly what you said.
Yeah, I think Bertuzzi's definitely earning some momentum. I think Sheldon Keefe sort of picked up on that and has put him with Austin Matthews. Again, didn't go well in Montreal, but those two were really, really dangerous together in Philadelphia. And Bertuzzi is key, right? I mean, it's the same old story with this Maple Leafs team. The bet was previously that 4 players were going to carry you through, because if you can break even with everything else on the ice, those 4 guys are going to be better than the 4 that any other team could muster on the other side. But that theory has been proven incorrect, at least over the balance of a couple playoff series, where those 4 players weren't able to give you an advantage and you weren't able to break even throughout everybody else. So it's going to rely, or it's going to fall on guys like Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, Matthew Knies, Nick Robertson, if he gets that opportunity and down in the lineup. And Tyler Bertuzzi peaking at this right time is definitely a welcome sight for this Maple Leafs team. But again, the fit is so key. What happens when Marner returns? Does Tyler Bertuzzi drop back down and play with Max Domi and William Nylander again? We will see, I suppose. But the Yarncroke injury, the Marner injury is definitely sending things into flux a little bit, and maybe steering Sheldon Keefe away from what was working a couple weeks ago with a fully healthy lineup.
Yeah, I mean, the hockey team is mirroring society, a dwindling middle class, right? And that's what the Leafs are. So it's funny, I was doing the Easter Seals Leaf Skate yesterday. I was one of the hosts along with Christine Simpson. So we're at MasterCard Arena. She's on one rink, I'm on the other. And after they had a practice, the team appears for about an hour, and there's a lot of Easter Seals kids there and a lot of people that raise money, right? So they get to go and skate. So my side, I had the 2 elite were Morgan Riley and Austin Matthews. Christine, I guess, had Nylander and Marner, whatever. So they come out, they're at one, they don't go on the ice because it gets too crowded. So they're on one bench and signing autographs, and there's a lineup right across the ice. Then a bunch of other guys come out, and they're skating. And so I'm going, hey, there's TJ Brody there. There's Joe Wall. There's Noah Gregor. Hey, guys, in line, if you want to just go over, you can get 6 Leafs in about one fell swoop, get a selfie, get a picture. And it kind of mirrors what the team is, for better, for worse. Just that. Anyway, it was great. They all went out there as an organization, and players and people did come over to them, but it just showed these other guys remain rock stars.
Yeah.
It's not conducive to winning playoff series, but it's interesting to see. They are rock stars.
And with new jerseys tonight for the Maple Leafs, I guess we could do like a live sort of, a survey or a popularity score based on what's going to be selling tonight, right? Like the number one jerseys of these new jerseys selling. Yeah, we're going to be a lot of 34s, 16s, 88s, 44s, maybe 91s. For sure, there is an imbalance with this team, but I think the goal for Brad Treliving coming into this year was, hey, let's carve into that imbalance a little bit. Let's make this more of an even playing field, and maybe in ways that they didn't expect. You're seeing that with John Tavares dropping down to a third line, Tyler Bertuzzi maybe playing above him at least right now. Maybe we're seeing more of a blend and less of a reliance on four players, 5 if you include Morgan Riley, and maybe that sort of situation or ecosystem is better fitted for a playoff series. We can officially give you lines based on warm-up for the Carolina Hurricanes in town tonight and the St. Pats in their green and white. Tyler Bertuzzi, Austin Matthews, Pontus Holberg on the top line. As mentioned, Bobby McMahon, Max Domi, William Nylander on the second line, Nyes, Tavares, Robertson, and Dewar, Camp, and Gregor in for Ryan Reeves on the fourth line. On the back end, Brody, McCabe, Riley, and Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin will play despite missing practice yesterday, and Joel Edmondson and Timothy Liljegren will be on the third pair with Elias Samsonov in net, opposing Pyotr Kochetkov for the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes. Tavares. Where are you at on Tavares? Because the numbers are coming out today a little bit more. His impact has been really good this year, despite it looking maybe not the same with the eye test. He does hold the key in many ways still to this team because, hey, you can't have a third line that's not doing much in the playoffs. Do you think John Tavares is going to be able to center a productive line, productive third line with spare-ish parts? And I go, Matthew and I have been playing top line all year. But does the yarn croak when he comes back, Tavares, Robertson, or McMahon unit inspire confidence for you?
So it's funny, you look at Stahl on the Carolina side. Okay, great third-line center. Really matters in the playoffs. You think of Bobby Holik in his day. You think of just, Tampa Bay and Cirelli and guys like that.
Yep.
The kind of jobs they did.
Serious utility. You know what you're getting from those guys.
Yeah, so at a minimum, that's what John Tavares is being asked to do and will do. These guys weren't number one overall picks, and that's the difference. And I think, last year, we talked about it, Justin, that when Ryan O'Reilly came, now he got injured so quickly that you never really shook out. You thought, are they going to go with the 3 centers, Matthews, O'Reilly, and Tavares, and do that in the playoffs? And they never really did. And by the way, Tavares scored the big goal to win the series. Okay, John Tavares contributed in win that Tampa Bay series
in a major way, yep.
in a big way. But I like now that they're when I say unafraid to get people's noses out of joint, and I'm not, John. I found that's been a problem with this club that protected with kid gloves in a lot of ways. Geez, the criticism, the social media criticism about whatever it may be, whether it's Mitch Marner or somebody else. In this case, what's best for the team? And if it's going to be best for the team, then John Tavares is going to play, they're going to get 3 balanced lines because that's something they haven't had in other playoffs. If Max Domi's the guy that remains the center, there's a lot on him to play. Like he's had a couple good playoffs with Dallas and Carolina the last 2 years, Max Domi. So, and Rick Bowness in Winnipeg and Rick Tocchet in Vancouver have kind of said, they've been unafraid to rattle the cage. It's kind of coming back again. We're out of COVID now. You know what? I think Sheldon Keefe's kind of saying, you know what? If we don't have playoff success this year, I'm joining the other 25% of the coaches that have been let go during the season. So, I'm going to do that song my way about it. And I would think Tavares as a team guy and a true pro would be buying into that.
Yeah, you'd hope so. I do, to answer my own question, have a lot of confidence in that. I mean, you're going to see sheltered minutes. from a certain standpoint. If he's playing beside Calle Järnkrok, if he's back in the lineup in time to start the playoffs, which I think the expectation is that he would be, that's an immensely defensively responsible player who can also put the puck in the net when given opportunity. And Bobby McMahon has been a really valuable player. And if that's the unit going into a third line, I'm going to feel as confident as I have been across three lines than in recent playoff past. It's really up to John Tavares to embrace this and make sure that his new role can be a dominant one. He will miss time on the power play if Tyler Bertuzzi continues to get time, but maybe that will change because tonight we're going to see the two worst power plays on the ice in the NHL since February 27th, which seems hard to believe, but is true. Are you seeing something that you're not liking from the Leafs power play of late?
So Carolina and Toronto are the worst power plays since February 27th.
Yeah. And again, that's only 2-3 weeks, but yeah,
well,
that is true.
The Leaf power play is spot on if the other team breaks 3 sticks.
Yes.
Okay, you know, they eventually put it. Maybe that the fact they had so much difficulty before they did it, maybe it's a sign of what's been going on of late. So I look at the score again. Obviously, let's get the power play hot at the right time. Playoff special teams and goaltending really, really matter.
The Carolina Hurricanes, as we mentioned, one team that is definitely gearing up for the playoffs. Road Warriors since December 12th. 12-1-2. So a big task tonight for the Toronto St. Pats. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Unhibernate. A verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
To compare, and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
The Players' Championship is on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92.
To the hole, could go, and it did! It did! You were waiting for the first birdie. There it is for Scotty Scheffler.
Live coverage from the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass continues tomorrow at noon Eastern.
The thing about 17, you're standing back there and you're going, this isn't really that hard. And it really isn't, except for the moment.
The Players' Championship is on Channel 92 in the car and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had a little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Ashton won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Justin Cuthbert and Gord Stellick at Scotiabank Arena as the Toronto St. Pats host the new-look Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, the new-look Carolina Hurricanes have added Jake Guentzel and Evgeny Kuznetsov to a roster that's already considered one of the best in the NHL. This Carolina Hurricanes team is as high level as it gets in the Eastern Conference, Gord, so a real good test for the St. Pats tonight.
Well, my pick for the Stanley Cup, the Carolina Hurricanes, and I know Vegas were kind of the stars because of the surprise pickup of Thomas Hertl. Kind of surprised they got Noah Hanifin when you thought he's going to Tampa Bay. Other teams like Colorado made some nice moves, but Justin, these two moves for a team that couldn't score goals or lack goals in the playoffs, and you add Evgeny Kuznetsov and you add Jake Guentzel as well. You add playoff experience. You add Stanley Cups. You add guys that play well in the playoffs. Man, perfect. Just what the doctor ordered in Carolina.
Yeah, those two players will play together on a second line with Marty Necas, forming a really interesting trio. I'll definitely have my eye on those three tonight. But it seems like this Hurricanes team is peaking at the right time. They just are coming off a statement win over the Florida Panthers, beating them 4-0. No one beats the Florida Panthers 4-0 nowadays. They are sort of the perfect blend of analytics meets, introducing firepower into the lineup with those two extra players. So definitely Carolina is as good of a test as the Maple Leafs can get tonight, or the St. Pats. And Carolina seems to always bring drama when they come to this building. There was that crazy game before Christmas. There was the David Ayers game. It seems like it always gets a little loose when these teams play, and that is a little different from what you'd expect from Carolina, who are, if anything, defensively responsible.
Yeah, that Christmas game, it was the one they do a weekday during the afternoon.
Yep.
The young Canadian, they gave Jake Gardner got a tribute the first break, and the Leafs were up 3-0. And Jake Gardner got a tribute visiting player, and then I forgot that it was helter-skelter after I think the Leafs hung on in that game, and certainly remember I
think it was 8-6 the final.
Yeah, we remember the Zamboni go David Ayers as well. But the thing about the best thing, that 4-0 win for them, and it's much like Ilya Samsonov starting for the Leafs tonight, whether it's him or Joe Wall. Get the kind of goaltending that Freddie Anderson couldn't give him in the playoffs. Now, Carolina is hoping Freddie Anderson, and Freddie Anderson's a good bet. He's been a great regular season goaltender, but him getting the shutout, him being healthy, he's played about 3 or 4 games back from blood clot issues. That's got to be the best news for the Carolina Hurricanes, hoping that continues, getting set for the playoffs.
It will be Pyotr Kochetkov opposing Ilya Samsonov tonight. I'm going to quickly do the player to watch bet from Bet365, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. I've got Pontus Holmberg's name circled because he's playing with Austin Matthews and Tyler Bertuzzi on a top line tonight. Anytime goal scorer, 650 Pontus Holmberg, so I like that number. Also, Nick Robertson's returning to the lineup with the injured Calle Järnkrok. He is plus 650 to score on a line with John Tavares and Matthew Knies tonight. There was a little drama at the morning skate. Ilya Samsonov goes down, and we're expecting there to be a change in goal because, hey, he went down pretty hard. He was definitely frustrated. He was helped off the ice, but before Sheldon Keefe could even be asked a question, he mentioned that Ilya Samsonov is good to go and will start his third straight game. Meritocracy, it seems, because Samsonov's been playing so well, and he's earning the bulk of the carries in what should be a split backfield right now for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, last year Matt Murray went down in morning skate, and he was out for about 6 weeks, so thank goodness this isn't anything like that. We're chatting about it, Justin, and I'm a little bit surprised because I would think you want to give kind of even time to Joe Woll and Ilya Samsonov to be best prepared for the playoffs. And it's funny, when Freddie Anderson was a Leaf, it was always, oh my God, got to give Freddie some rest. He's playing 60-plus games. Well, that's not the problem right now. I think part of this might be that a lot was made of Joe Woll getting the 2 Boston games, and maybe he wanted Samsonov to play an elite team, like get in a game against one of those, heavyweights that you're going to have to go through in the playoffs. But either way, you can never have enough goaltenders playing well in the Leafs. Well, when you're winning, when you're 12-3-0 in your last 15, that often is a lot of it dictated by the goaltending.
Let's go through the lines. I mentioned the top line with Pontus Holberg, Austin Matthews, and Tyler Bertuzzi. Second line will feature with Mitch Marner out of the lineup, Bobby McMahon, Max Domi, and William Nylander. Third line will be Matthew Knies, John Tavares, and Nick Robertson, as mentioned. And then Connor Dewar, David Kampf, and Noah Gregor will be on the fourth line. No Ryan Reeves tonight. On defense, TJ Brody and Jake McCabe will hold down the top pair. Morgan Rielly and Eli Lyubushkin will be on the second pair with Joel Edmondson and Timothy Liljegren on the third pair. Lyubushkin's been banged up since he's come over a little bit. Seems like he's dealing with it every single game. He's taken some hard hits, but he persists despite missing practice yesterday. It keeps Simone Benoit out, but it keeps the pairing of Rielly Lyubushkin together despite all the firepower on the other side. The Maple Leafs went the opposite route with their deadline plans, bringing in Lyubushkin and Edmondson. More meat back there, Gord. Do you think it's going to do the Maple Leafs favors in big games like this one, but bigger games in April?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I look back last year, Luke Schenn, I thought, was the best pickup they made for a third-round pick. And these are kind of similar moves. I mean, what they needed to address the most, like Carolina needed to address scoring, was the Leafs needed to address some depth on D. So you're not going to get Norris Trophy candidates in trades in that regard, but I like those two moves. They're not wow moves, but nobody did wow moves in the Atlantic Division, really.
No, it was not as busy in the Atlantic Division as it was in other divisions. Certainly the Pacific Division was aggressive. Saw big moves here in the Metropolitan Division. But maybe that's a missed opportunity in some ways because, hey, you're still looking up at Boston and Florida right now. Florida, of course, did make a move bringing in Vladimir Tarasenko. I guess there's a lot that still needs to be sorted out in terms of lines and returnees from injury in Calle Järnkrok and Mitch Marner. But the fourth line is interesting to me because it seems like Sheldon Keefe's always trying to figure out what the best iteration of that is around this time every year. Tonight, again, as mentioned, Dewar, Kampf, and Gregor. Kampf's probably a staple in terms of the pivot position there, but Gregor and Dewar are definitely guys fighting for spots here. It might depend on who the opponent is, but do you have a preferred strategy for the fourth line? Do you like muscle? Do you like the ability to be an enforcer, or do you like energy and the ability to forecheck, which maybe Dewar and Gregor can provide?
I think I like the energy. I like the energy, and about that, go out, have an energy shift, a short shift. Usually starts with a face-off in the opposing team zone, and give that kind of spark. And certain games when there's a heavyweight dress, then Ryan Reeves. And Ryan Reeves has played better beyond just being a heavyweight of late for them. But with Bertuzzi and Domi and what's going on, like that team toughness has to permeate in the top three lines. So I think the fourth line, I like the ones that throw out a lot of energy when they go out there.
In terms of the top line, of course, Mitch Marner not available for Austin Matthews, but the player that I guess is getting, the second option with Matthews when Marner's not available is Tyler Bertuzzi, moving up and playing on the left side with Austin Matthews. I guess the thought was preseason, hey, this might be the fit. Maybe Tyler Bertuzzi belongs on that top line. Of course, it didn't work right away. Didn't work in Montreal last Saturday, but looked good in Philadelphia. What does Tyler Bertuzzi have to do to stay with Austin Matthews?
Well, I think I think he's kind of figured it out in that he's got this comfort situation now that wasn't there the first 40 games. So I think the whole point about, and quite often when you're playing with superstar players, like everyone couldn't play with Sidney Crosby. Everyone can't play with certain superstars. And if you can extract from your case the best of their talents, like instead of trying to do things a certain way, do everything yourself, play off the fact you've got a Hart Trophy winner that you're playing with, and you're going to get certain opportunities, certain rebounds, certain chances that you wouldn't get on the other lines.
It's a potential milestone night for William Nylander. His next point will give him or match his career high for points with 87. Of course, it's been a special year for number 88. And it's not as though he's slowed down, maybe not as prolific as it was 3 or 4 months ago. But William Nylander is certainly emerged this season, signed the contract, and has been given a lot this year in terms of load, right? A lot of this is going to fall on William Nylander, especially with John Tavares bumped down to the third line. If it's the top line of the pairing of Matthews and Marner, the second line runs on William Nylander. Where have you seen growth in his game?
Oh, I just think, he bet on himself about becoming a more complete player, because he was the guy, and we saw he got benched a little bit because he blew the zone a little bit too early, so old habits and that, and he never gets frazzled about that. I like that. He's got a very great positive personality, but he really did work on the two-way part of his game and the whole visual awareness about where you're without the puck. I mean, really being almost like a mini Austin Matthews. I mean, they're different type players, but just about being much more of a dominant player, but also tending to the defensive parts of the game and the two-way part of the game.
Gordon, it always seems like we get the treats, right? It was the New York Rangers a couple weeks ago. Now it's the Carolina Hurricanes. Those are the two best teams in the Metropolitan Division, but this is a big test. Carolina might be the most structured team in hockey. Rod Brendamore's team has just added 2 stars on their second line with Jake Guentzel and Evgeny Kuznetsov. This is as good of a playoff tune-up as you can get with the Carolina Hurricanes. Your pick to win the Stanley Cup.
Yes. And the hockey news. And a few others. That's right. To pick.
Yeah.
But
I might revise my pick to them based on what I see tonight.
Well, I've had a bad record picking Stanley Cup winners, so they shouldn't get too excited in Carolina.
Okay, it's the St. Pats and the Hurricanes, and the next voices you hear will be Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Once a year, the best fantasy baseball analysts get together to compete against each other.
Grand Slam, Mookie Betts!
And Fantasy Sports Radio is the only place to hear all the action. Learn winning strategies and player evaluations to help you dominate your league.
Shohei Ohtani is going to be an intriguing offensive player in a lineup that is going to have all kinds of firepower.
The Tout Wars National League Auction tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastian won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Steve Cooley's in the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had, the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. And Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the SiriusXM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the SiriusXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Leafs.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
In the Leafs Radio Network, there's a Molson with your name on it.
Annual St. Patrick's Day game. The Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes, the operators of the oblong onion bags tonight, are brought to you by Superior Door and Gate Systems, Canada's top choice for automatic doors and security gates, security fencing, and bollards. Because security can only be measured by what it will save you. Ilya Samsonov, who is 5-0-0 lifetime against the Carolina Hurricanes, gets the call for the Maple Leafs. He is 18-5-6 overall with a 3.06 goals against average. Kochetkov gets the call for the Carolina Hurricanes. Frederik Andersen not dressed tonight. He's 17-12-3, 2.35 the goals against average as we are underway as the puck goes down into the Toronto zone. Played out at center and down into the Carolina zone. In goes David Camp. It comes free into the corner. Noah Gregor back into the lineup for the Maple Leafs. A wrist shot off the wing goes wide of the net. Camp in pursuit. And the Hurricanes are going to try and play it up the boards, but can't get it out. And now they will, as they will skate it out at center. Seth Jarvis gets to the red line and shoots it in. Changes coming for both teams. Brought out at center ice by Toronto's Liljegren. Liljegren will backhand it high, wide of the net. Round back of the net is swept around by Brady Shea, and it's all the way out and down the ice, but no icing. Samsonov out of the cage. Had to go off a stick and come in front of the net, and the Leafs are there to secure it and get it out at center. Bertuzzi, who had a marvelous game the other night in Philadelphia, gets it in over the line. Flipped around back of the net then by Holberg. Pontus Holberg now to Matthews. It rolls in front of the net. Holberg got a crack at it. Bertuzzi trying to get a whack at it as well. But it's brought to center ice now by Carolina. Down into the corner it goes. Hurricanes wearing their home dark black jerseys. The Leafs St. Patrick's jerseys this year are the white ones. And they have done a little trimming with them, and they really do look sharp. I got to admit that, as a long shoot-in goes off the goaltender into the corner. Kept alive by Nyes. At the blue line, trying to sweep it in front of the net was Tavares, but it is cleared back in, and now here are the Hurricanes in with a pass and a good block made there, sprawling to block it. Brody played back out at center ice. Shot by the Hurricanes in over the line. Stolen back by Toronto. Pushed high in the air. Nyes trying to get it a little further. Brought on now by Nekash. Nekash drops it back. He got knocked down on the play. Sharp angle and unable to center it was Kuznetsov. And then a point shot goes high and wide of the Leaf goal. Puck in the corner in the near side. Leafs get it freed up. Tavares fighting for it, able to get it out at center. He needs to get off. He's been on for a while. Nylander and Tavares to the bench. So much easier to coach from up here. Have you noticed?
Even play.
Haven't given up a bad goal up here in years, have we? Brought in over the line now by Domi, and as he flips it into the far corner, Nylander chipping it around back of the net. Domi Tried to slide it back from whence it came. Bobby McMahon, back of the goal. Nylander curling out on his backhand. Still with it. Now he goes around to the side of the goal and stops up. Centering pass. Comes back to Nylander on his forehand. To the far side, a shot. And Kochkov is able to get a glove on that and hold play.
Pretty good start to this game, isn't there? A little bit of pace to it both ways. The Leafs have the only 2 official shots on goal. As Joel Edmondson, maybe not the one you want to pick for the one-timer from the top of the right wing circle, but Willie Nylander found him. TJ Brodie made a great defensive play on Jake Gensel a little earlier, sprawling to take away a 2-on-1 chance.
Draw one by Toronto. Riley laying it around back of the net. Bertuzzi goes after it into the corner. Grabbed off there by Matthews, spun in for Holberg, tried to center. It'll come back to the blue line where Riley's able to keep it in and got a shot and just missed. Far side, Lyubushkin getting it around back of the net. Lyubushkin had a tough night in Philadelphia. Not quality of play, just taking a lot of lumps.
Yeah, twice to the dressing room.
Didn't practice yesterday, but is in the lineup. He is one tough young man. Bobby McMahon freeing the puck up on the wing, and it is shot in by McCabe, and around the boards it's coming to the near side. McMahon got it freed up for a pass in front from Nylander, and McMahon couldn't get his stick on it. Back of the net, Tavares. And now, Domi. Domi trying to come out in front, had it knocked away, and the Hurricanes will carry to center ice. Pass broken up. Looking ahead, Domi was in behind, but the pass didn't connect. Orlov backpedals into his own zone. Kotkaniemi got it up on the wing, and the Hurricanes play it down into the Toronto end. Hurricanes currently with 40 wins and 86 points. And they are in second spot in the Metropolitan Division, trailing the New York Rangers as they get it out at center ice, and Neckash brings it in over the line. A drop pass, trying to shoot it is Gunsel, and that was deflected wide of the net by goaltender Samsonov. Jake Gunsel, one of the big acquisitions in the trade deadline scene for the Hurricanes, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. Bouncing puck down into Carolina territory. Good pace here. Brett Burns with it. Playing it around back of the net. Burns playing in his 1400th game. Had a pass partially blocked, and the Leafs just failed to connect with Robertson, who's into the lineup too. Leafs into the corner. Referee, nice job getting in the way there. Give the man a stick, let him play. Get it up on the wing for Toronto. Robertson couldn't get it into the zone.
Well, you just switched the jerseys. We're getting all the breaks now, aren't we?
Oh, sure. Hey, it's the luck of the Irish lad. Don't be telling me that. Flipped in now by Riley. It'll go on goal and steered aside by Kochkov. Now Tavares centers in front of the net, and it was just out of the reach of Nicky Robertson. Long alley-oop goes high over top of the Toronto goal. And the Leafs along the boards are going to get it out at center, where Burns is going to fire it right back in again. McCabe, bank pass for Brodie. Brodie tried to lift it out, but had it stolen back, and then a shot from an angle was wide of the Leaf goal. Chipped in there by Jacob Slavin. Puck to the side of the net, back of the goal. Matthews trying to free it up, can't. Here are the Hurricanes. Good play by Brodie to steal it back. Now McCabe running out of real estate, centering pass, and a shot from an angle that hit the side of the goal. Played around the boards, it'll come to Brett Burns. His pass off a stick, deflected just wide. Leafs don't get it out. Burns off the right wing, gathers, and a centering pass went off a leg, and now here's Matthews finally finding an opening to get it ahead, and Bertuzzi will get it to center but not get it in deep, but enough to get a change of players going for the Maple Leafs.
Boy, Brent Burns twice from the right point, just fires it far side into traffic, looking for the redirection or a rebound.
Here the Hurricanes back in, playing it in is Kuznetsov. Stolen back there by Joel Edmondson. Leafs get it ahead at center, and an alley-oop pass goes off his skate down towards the Hurricanes goal. A pass up the middle then, and the Hurricanes are out on the right wing. Here's Neckash rolling it to the net. He said,
I got it.
You understood what was happening?
Elias Samsonov had it. Then he didn't.
Then he didn't.
Then he did again.
And then he did again, yes. So anyway, all's well.
Boy, it's hard doing color. I had to formulate that re-description.
But being able to understand my English is very important. It's sort of a Three Stooges English. Anyway, no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Experience the power and majesty of R&B royalty on a Sirius XM channel where the greatest ladies in the game reign supreme. Queens of R&B. This Women's History Month, hear takeovers from Alicia Keys, Victoria Monet, and more. Mama. Queens of R&B. Now for a limited time on Channel 107 and year-round in the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Leafs Radio Network.
First period brought to you by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Draw in the Toronto zone to the left of Elias Samsonov. The draw won by the Hurricanes, working down now. A shot that rolls in front of the goal, and Samsonov is down there to cover up on it, and he's going to hold on. Elias Samsonov created quite a stir this morning. In practice, he took a shot to the nether regions, and you and I were discussing this.
Yes.
And as a goaltender, that's part of the job, and it's part of the problem of playing the position. I was playing high school hockey. I didn't have a goalie cup. I had just a regular cup, and I got nailed there. And my coach, God bless his soul, Mr. DiStefano, put me on my rump, picked me up 3 times, and dropped me. I wasn't sure what hurt more, the cure or the impact of the initial thing.
But it worked.
It
you
worked.
said eventually, yeah.
And then I went and bought a new goalie cup the next day, which was maybe the brightest thing I ever did. Managed to father 4 kids, so that worked. Anyway.
It's the worst injury for having people laugh at you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
it's
I don't know why it's,
yeah. I have no idea. That is just cruel and unusual punishment.
And funny when it happens to somebody else.
Oh, you know when it's funny? When it has happened to you. Now here's a passion alone and a great save made by Samsonov. He went from right to left with the pad save and made a great save. Obviously not feeling any worse for the wear from the morning episode.
Boy, TJ Brody got caught. That led to the 2-on-1.
Sammy, they're chanting.
Well, do you think 3 months ago we thought this was even possible?
Oh, back at the blue line. Bounced high into the Toronto end. Stolen back, and Nylander's out. Nylander to the right wing side. Cuts to the left wing for Domi. Back in front for Nylander. Just out of his reach. And Kochkov is able to swallow it up and hold for a face-off.
Skov did play the earlier game between the Leafs and the Hurricanes in this building. Won at 3-2. Leafs scored in the dying seconds after Carolina made it 3-1 with an empty net goal. The Leafs scored late. I'm going to throw this out now because Carolina, one of the top defensive teams in the National Hockey League in a lot of categories. But the Toronto Maple Leafs, 228 games, regular season and playoff without being shut out.
There you go.
I think sometimes need a little help because Carolina's record is so good when scoring the first goal of a game.
Played at center ice. Pesci gets it on the wing and slaps it down into the Toronto zone. Edmondson played it around to the far wing, but Martinuk is there. He was knocked down on the play, and it comes free to the near wing. A pass up on the far side goes for Nylander, but that went off his stick, and the Hurricanes send it back into the Toronto end. Liljegren playing it back at the net. Edmondson quickly getting it ahead. Off Nylander into neutral ice and dropped for Matthews. Matthews sails through into the offensive zone but can't get around the defense. Chip to the far boards. Matthews is there. Back to the blue line. But Labushkin couldn't keep it in, but he did a great job of making sure he wasn't going to have that forward blow by him by taking him out. Labushkin in the far corner now in the Leaf zone. Long alley-oop pass that has gone astray is going to turn into an icing. And it'll come back into the Toronto zone to the right of Ilya Samsonov.
We were talking about Brent Burns a little earlier. Tonight he plays his 1400th NHL game. Isn't that incredible for a defenseman? The only active players with more games are Ryan Suter, 1430, and Alexander Ovechkin, 1409.
Wow. A wrist shot right off the face-off there, taken by Netcash, was stopped by Samsonov. He's had two outstanding stops, and that was one of them.
Leafs have had a lot of almost great opportunities, haven't they? Passes just failing to connect in the slot. But Carolina has had easily the two best that have reached the net.
Played high to center ice. Pontus Holberg couldn't get the puck to settle. Carrying through now is Matthews. He played it over to... there was a lot of traffic at the Leaf bench there, but no penalty. Matthews in across the line. Holberg went to the bench, and now it is cleared in a little bit deeper, and the rest of his line mates will follow suit. Brought out on the right side now by Chatfield. Played it in over the line. A pass goes to the side of the net where it's swallowed up by Samsonov, and he is going to stop play and bring a face-off in to the Toronto zone. 9:05 to play first period. There is no score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. A list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
He's got a partial breakaway. Scores! Holy mackerel, what a dagger!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, Thursday was the annual Easter Seals Gate, started by Conn Smythe years ago. And a good friend of mine, Bobby Goodwin, was there being wheeled around in his chair and whatnot, having an absolute blast. all of the players out signing autographs and taking pictures. It's one of the really heartening events on the calendar year, the Easter Seal Skate, and they raise a ton of dough for Easter Seals every year. So congratulations to the Leafs and everybody involved in that. A lot of ear-to-ear smiles. Here's Burns getting a shot in on goal, and that was deflected just wide. Good play by Matthews to steal the puck back, and Holberg gets it ahead. Bertuzzi unable to get it in deep. And again, the Hurricanes shoot it right back in again. One of the things the Hurricanes do is usually win the shot on goal.
Yeah, they've given up on average the fewest shots
in the
National Hockey League.
And yet they are among the least in block shots. So I don't know if it's just bad counting or what. How can you have both?
Yeah, so your goalies and everyone else.
Yeah, now we got
do we have a penalty here?
A hook, and it looks like it's going to Carolina. The referees.
Oh boy.
Are Steve Kazari and Dan O'Rourke.
Yeah, you hope this isn't going to be called to the playoffs. This rather weak call, I would think. I mean, it is into the midsection, and it's brief, and it says Edmondson is trying to clear it in behind the Leaf net. Don't know, maybe it would have caused a scoring opportunity.
Fast is in the penalty box in the Leaf power play, which came under some criticism because it was utilized when the Leafs had a pretty commanding lead the other night in Philadelphia. But their power play's been horrible. Now a bouncing puck almost broke out, going the wrong way. The Leafs get it back to the point. Nylander's shot deflects off a body and goes wide. Tavares in the near corner. Double team, but got it to Riley. Riley rolls it in front of the net, and Kochkov is able to get his blocking glove on it and hold on.
It is the most bizarre stat. They've given up the fewest shots. You think they would perhaps block the most shots. They block the least. Which obviously means the Hurricanes do a great job of keeping teams to the outside, not even getting the opportunity to fire towards a goal. And I think that's pretty much what we've seen this period, haven't we? Leafs have had some almost great chances without shots.
Loose puck kept in by Riley. Good play at the blue line. Riley to Liljegren. Leafs using two defensemen on this power play. And that may be because of the number of shorthanded chances. Now it passed by Matthews for Tavares, didn't connect. Here's Tavares back into the slot for Liljegren. Down into the slot area, and it rolled just past the stick of John Tavares. And it's going to be shot down the ice by Carolina. 7.5 minutes to go in the period. Minute 6 in the power play. First unit remains out there.
Leafs just 1 for 20 in their last 8.
Matthews coming through neutral ice. Drops it back for Nylander. Overskated the puck and just barely failed to have Sebastian Aho go the wrong way. Now Tavares in over the line. Couldn't get it in deep. And there's going to be a penalty here to Toronto for holding. And I believe it'll be Tavares.
Yeah, John Tavares came in and little button hook inside the Carolina line, and then once he lost the puck, stick came off the hand, and the hold was administered. So 43 seconds now with 4-on-4. The Leafs not only 1 for 20 in the last 8 games overall, but they're 0 for 10 in the last 5 games on home ice. The Hurricanes, the second best penalty kill in the league. Philly was number 1, right? Well, they are going through that, so back-to-back challenges. And even Matthew Nye's goal that was scored when Philadelphia defenders hit all the broken sticks wasn't a power play goal.
Actually, Philadelphia was third, but when you consider they had scored 14 shorthanded goals and added another, you have to say, you know what, taking everything into account, I would suggest that their penalty kill is better than anyone's.
Might be better than their power play, offensively.
Leafs get it out at center, 4-on-4, and the puck was stripped away and backhanded down into the Toronto zone, forcing Brody back to recover it.
Tell you one thing, Carolina
we get a whistle here.
Yeah, it's going to be an icing. One thing that Carolina does, they force you to move the puck quickly. You see any Leaf, Joe, standing still that wants to take that extra second to make a play and look up? Carolina forward is closing in on you in a hurry.
Face off to the right in the Carolina zone. Kind of thought Frederick Anderson might play tonight, but
it's won 3 in a row since coming back.
Yes, he has. Not in the cards. These two teams will meet again in Carolina.
A week tomorrow on a Sunday.
And the Leafs have 4 sets of back-to-back games down the stretch. Now here's Necas in across the line. It bounces high in the air. Matthews skating after it, but he's not going to get there in time as Brady Shea got back to take it away. Now the penalty is expired and the Hurricanes are on the power play. Necas gets to the line, just did have to stop up because his teammate had preceded him into the zone. Now a pass is intercepted and punched out at center. Here's a chance in across the line for Dewar. A shot right on. That was stopped, and sprawling is Kochkov to cover up on it.
Boy, what a smart play by Dewar. Intercepts the pass and then banks it off the right wing boards and chases after it. And the left-handed shot coming down the right wing side does have the option to maybe look for David Kemp coming up the middle. But I think when you're shorthanded, Joe, you always take the shot and make sure you don't miss and have it ricochet around the boards and you're caught the other way. So good play by Dewar. Get it on net. Look for a rebound.
Got his first point as a Leaf the other night. Has not scored. Has 10 on the year, and one of them is a shorthanded goal. Here are the Hurricanes in across the line. They'll play it back to Burns, who sends it down into the near corner. Swept around the wall then by Slavin. Comes back to Burns once more. To his defense partner on the left wing side. And a pass down low. Sprawling to block and making a nice play there was McCabe. Burns will keep the puck in, though. Got it ahead and off the wing it goes. Martinook got it into the corner. Out chipping it around the boards. It's going to come into the near corner for Svechnikov. He loses it, and the Leafs have sent it out and down the ice with 10 seconds left in the power play. So it looks like neither team's going to get the opening goal with the man advantage. Drop pass from Sebastian Aho. Got in over the line. Played in along the boards. The Leafs unable to chip it up the boards then by trying to play it ahead there for Gregor. It comes back to the point. Orlov with a shot, and again down to cover up on it is goaltender Samsonov, and he will stop play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
If it's happening in baseball,
baseball's biggest stars are on MLB Network Radio. Captain Aaron Judge.
Oh, we're excited. It's an exciting time. This is what it's about with the Yankees. When you play with the Yankees, man, you play with the best. And, we went out there and we got the best.
Kansas City Royals shortstop Bobby Witt Jr.
This is where I want to be. This is where I want to be for the long term. And I'm really looking forward to what's to come for sure.
If you missed your team stop on the spring training tour or any of our other interviews from camp, listen back on the all-new and improved SiriusXM app. Just search Spring Training.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
And we're with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
take it as Joey gets his headset back on. 4:47 to go here in the opening period. Scoreless, Canes and Leafs. Each team has killed off a penalty. And Joey will jump in and do the play-by-play here. Yeah. Remember last year we shut the stations down when you were second, couldn't get in.
Anybody score?
7-3.
Oh, jump! Well, I was busy being on the screen. Leafs get it down into the Carolina zone. Actually, it's been there for a while. I just wasn't paying attention at the time. Here's Tavares trying to work his way out. Good poke check then and scooped up by
another penalty.
Kochkov, but another penalty coming. Yeah. This again as Tavares drove the net.
Well, like it or not, they've been consistent.
Carolina number 11, minor penalty holding.
This is Jordan Stahl, the veteran.
John Tavares bringing it out of the corner. Stahl obviously doesn't like the call, but I think what he was complaining about is feeling that maybe Tavares had a hook into him before getting the puck loose in the corner to the right of the Carolina goaltender. Second power play for the Leafs.
So the two captains going at it there. 15:41 the time, and the Leafs win the faceoff. Liljegren to Nylander, a shot that deflected wide of the goal. Here's a pass back. It goes to Liljegren. Shot from the blue line, deflected off the blocker of Kochkov, and it goes up into the screen out of play.
Kochkov's numbers are decent. 17, 12, and 3, and 9/11 save percentage. Kind of first thing that sticks out with me when going through the lineups is Carolina favored by a lot to be a Stanley Cup favorite, and yet have 2 more points than the Leafs.
Exactly. Here's Nylander in on the wing, tried to find Tavares, couldn't, but he's able to recover the puck. Down low, Tavares couldn't get a backhand to go to the net. Works to the near boards and back to the blue line to Liljegren. Bank pass in for Matthews. Centering pass, left wing side. Riley couldn't handle it. Matthews with it now with a pass down low. Nylander looking back for him, couldn't get it to him. But he's able to come away with the loose puck to Liljegren on the right side. Pass in looking for Tavares was deflected but wide of the net. And Tavares lost the handle on it, and down the ice it goes. And now it's going to be played up by the Leafs, and here's Matthews in. Had it on his stick, decided not to shoot it. The Leafs are in the midst of changing to the near side now for McCabe. His shot hits the side of the goal, and Robertson is after a loose puck. Robertson working it around the boards and back of the net. Slavin chopped at it, didn't get it past. Centering pass! What a chance Robertson had! He one-timed it and it went wide, and he had time to cradle it really and really take a good look at the net.
Yeah, it looked like it went off the heel of a stick, didn't it?
Yeah.
You were hoping under these circumstances Nick Robertson could have a Bobby McMahon type night, getting into the lineup in some offensive situations.
Domi in across the line for Nyes, back into the slot area for the Leafs, back to the point, off on the wing. A shot by Domi is kicked away. Near side, Robertson hits the side of the goal. And Orlov is going to get it to the line, but not out. The reason being it was a high stick that knocked it down. But a face-off coming outside the blue line with 5 seconds remaining in the penalty. 2:24 to go in the scoreless first period. St. Patrick's Day game. And we better make sure we congratulate former Leaf General Manager Brian Burke, who is the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade tomorrow. It'll wind its way down Bloor Street and down Yonge Street to Dundas.
I talk about that stat though with Carolina, saying that they're last in blocked shots, but last in shots against. Well, you see why, don't you? I mean, now the Leafs have failed to capitalize on whatever opportunities they have had.
Now here is a chance in on the wing for Carolina. Centering pass and another diving play made by Brody. Brought back and sent in over the line, but then brought in by the Maple Leafs. Gregor chipping it around back of the net, and unable to reach it was David Camp.
Another penalty coming.
And Gregor gets the puck and another holding. My goodness, has there been an edict that went out that we missed? Did we miss a memorandum? Third holding call.
I think we said on the earlier one they've been consistent on this. Whether you like it or not, power plays are on pace to be 6-6 for this game. Carolina, another opportunity off the rush, though, and good defensive play by Jake McCabe. I mean, I put this in with the Stahl one and the other ones.
So the Hurricanes to the power play. Burns were able to creep right in and got a shot away that deflects high off the end boards and finds the screen.
Carolina, in their last 21 games, Joey, 15-5-1. And in the last 5 games, they've only given up 6, even though the game they lost was 1-0 at home to the New York Rangers. And they turn around and shut out the Florida Panthers 4-0. So for a team that's anti-Ranta, who was waived early in the year, Freddie Anderson went out with an injury, and everybody thought Carolina's got goaltending problems.
Burns keeps the puck in at the blue line to the far side. A pass across in front of the net was intercepted, and the Leafs are going to get a chance to clear, and it'll be backhanded by Pontus Holberg down the rest of the way with 1:35 left to go in the power play. Burns starts out with it. Dropped it off on the right wing. Good play at the blue line by David Camp to knock down a pass, and now an opportunity to clear, and the Leafs are going to do just that. 1:19 to go in the period. Just about going to end with the end of the power play as well. Brought on by Carolina in on the left wing. Flipped down into the left wing corner. Stolen again by the Leafs, and out and down the ice it goes. Toronto's penalty killing hasn't been all that good. 5 of 16 they've given up in their last 5 games. So if there is an area that has to improve down the stretch, this is it. And Edmondson and Lyubushkin, I think, are 2 of the major factors that were brought in to do just this. And the Leafs are going to clear but not out. Knocked down there by Necas. Necas was able to keep the puck alive. Back to the blue line it comes. Shea to the left wing side and a shot. That deflects wide. Necas with it again, but the Leafs are able to poke it out. Good play by Bobby McMahon. Necas right back in again. Left wing side, it comes back to the point. Shea a drive, and that's kicked away nicely by Samsonov. Around the boards with 12 seconds left in the period. Cleared to the line, just kept in by Shea. Around in and back of the net, and a bank pass to the line. Just kept in again. Shea again with it to the near side. Working in with Kuznetsov, and the horn will end the period before any damage is done. There is 2 seconds left in the penalty to carry over to the second, but the difference may be the goaltending of Ilya Samsonov in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, two, maybe 3 outstanding stops for Samsonov. We saw him do that in Philadelphia against the Flyers on Thursday, but in that game, the Leafs rewarded him with 3 goals in the first. Now, even more important because Carolina is so good defensively.
You're pointing at him.
Just making a point.
Oh. So you were using your Peter Pointer.
Yes.
Oh, very good. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's Andy Cohen. Come join me on Radio Andy, your ultimate pop culture destination.
Kick off your mornings with Smith Sisters Live.
Go deep and shallow with me daily on Andy Cohen Live.
Then buckle up because now you can hear 2 hours of me with Jeff Lewis Live and Extended.
The biggest stars stop by the Jess Cagle Show with
Julia Cunningham.
And our all-new reality check lineup with Kiki Monique, Dorinda Medley, and Lakendra Tubes, covering every angle of reality TV. Radio Andy, Sirius XM 102.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little layoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastian won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Koulias and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. And Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Justin Cuthbert and Gord Stellick with you for the first period intermission. The St. Pat 0, Carolina Hurricanes, 0 after 20 minutes. Gord, we talked about how these are the two worst power plays on the ice since February 27th, and it was like, hey, the referees wanted to see what was wrong with these power plays because 2 penalties apiece, 2 minors apiece, 8 total minutes. I guess there was a bit of overlap there, but a sufficient power play ice time tonight for both teams, and it looked like neither one had anything going.
Yeah, I don't know. That's you're talking about two teams. I mean, Carolina, a Stanley Cup favorite by a lot of people. The Leafs, who knows, but a playoff team. And that it's not a lot of weeks, that stat. But, boy, as you say, a microcosm in the first period. A lot of potential catastrophic giveaways. It seemed they'd give it away and then just get it back again when there was a near breakaway going on. I thought Samsonov made some big saves. And, there weren't a ton of shots. 9-8 the shots in favor of Carolina. I thought he had to make some bigger saves. I don't think the Leafs really had scoring chances at all. But you're right on the special teams. The kind of thing, they got to sharpen it up a little bit. The Leafs maybe one time a little, I never call them guilty of overpassing because when it's going, that's part of what they do. They move the puck so well, but John Tavares down low with the puck. Obviously, they miss Mitch Marner, a key cog on that power play.
Yeah, extenuating circumstances a little bit, obviously, without Mitch Marner, but I do want to talk about the composition of these power play units for the Maple Leafs specifically. 2 defensemen playing on PP1 with Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and John Tavares. Of course, those are Morgan Rielly and Timothy Liljegren. And then on the second grouping, which did get nearly even ice time, you got 4 forwards and Jake McCabe, and I'd argue they were the more irresponsible forwards, at least defensively, that the Maple Leafs have in Domi, Nyes, Robertson, and Bertuzzi. So if the argument for the first power play and using 2D is, okay, you don't have Marner out there, you feel good with Marner out there being able to soak up some defensive responsibility, it seems like you're leaving it to chance a little bit with the second unit. Are you surprised that Rielly and Liljegren are on the top power play unit together?
It's a little bit. I mean, I think obviously that's Marner's spot. And then I don't know if the second power play, they're saying, well, why would you not use 2D on that? And he's saying, I really don't have any more than 3 offensive defensemen, that are kind of guys that I want to put on the power play right now. So, I did notice that, when you call it tweak or what have you. But you're right, the second the second power play seemed to be a little bit more clicking, a little bit better than the first power play.
Yeah, maybe that's due in part due to just having 4 forwards out there and being a little bit more aggressive. It was the best chance of the period, I thought, that Nick Robertson had on a power play. Missing on an opportunity from Tyler Bertuzzi at the side of the net there. That's what you want to see Robertson put in the net, because those are his opportunities. He's that type of player where you want to take those opportunities. And of course, he wasn't able to convert on that one. But fortunately, the best chance for Carolina wasn't converted on either. Dmitry Orlov had a partial breakaway, probably 75% breakaway, and Ilya Samsonov made a nice save. You get Ilya Samsonov, Sammy chance right afterwards. We were talking about the meritocracy in goal. Samsonov just is not letting up.
No, exactly. About, be a nice predicament to have 2 guys red hotting in the playoffs. And again, I'm repeating myself, but I really commend him and I commend the organization, whatever they did. I mean, in the middle of the season, to get your game back, to get mentally set again. And one thing you do seem to notice technically, a lot less active. There's a little too much activity when the puck's not around him is one thing people talked about in Samsonov. And he seems that he's kind of brought that back a little bit.
Shots are 9-8 in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes after 1 period. The score is 0-0, though. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Today, when it comes to following sports, a basic box score just won't cut it. Get the stats behind the stats with NHL Edge. So you won't just see Makar's time on ice. You'll see where he spent it. You won't just know Matthews scored. You'll know how hard he shot it. And you won't just get OV's shot total. You'll know where he shot it from. Even if they're all from the same place. Know more about every stat, every shift, and every star with NHL Edge.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Unhibernate. A verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck. .ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The Toronto St. Pats and the Carolina Hurricanes are knotted at 0 after 20 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena. And I guess because the scoreline is as it is, I can highlight a play from Ilya Lyubushkin in the first period. Just a slight touch. An interference without it being fully interference, preventing a scoring chance for Carolina. I guess it's something that I highlighted in the period because maybe it's not the play that a Connor Timmins would make, per se, but it's also maybe an expert play from a Lyubushkin type in that, yeah, it could have easily been interference if he was too aggressive in that moment, but kind of just snuffed it out real quietly and efficiently to make sure there wasn't even a reaction from the Hurricanes bench as the play happened right in front of it. That's kind of what we're getting more of from this Maple Leafs decor as Brad Treliving continues to make it over.
Yeah, we talked about it, Justin, meat and potatoes, right? Just that kind of, where meanwhile, what was the one time, remember the fourth line had a defensive zone face-off, and it was Morgan Riley and whatever, just that was almost a botched 5, 6, 7 seconds, and they kept the fourth line on, which you got to like because nothing worse than an 8-second shift, but they made a D change in that. I mean, it's been a game of little moments. It's kind of like, you get your first shifts, all 4 lines go on, and it's kind of a feeling out process. They're still kind of feeling it out right now. You feel after 20 minutes, there seems to still be an element of that in the game.
A busy night in the NHL, so let's take a look around. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Yeah, just 4 teams not in action today or tonight. Earlier today, the Senators beat the Islanders 4-3 in overtime. The Red Wings got off the schneid, beating the Sabres 4-1. Rangers get a 7-4 victory over the Penguins, and the Coyotes beat the Devils 4-1. End of second, Lightning leading the Panthers 4-2. Canadians trailing the Flames 1-0 end of 1. 1-1 Flyers and Bruins end of 1. And end of second, Blue Jackets 1-0 over the Sharks. Still to come tonight, Wild and Blues, Kings and Sharks, Predators and Kraken, Capitals and Canucks, and this one I have circled, Avalanche and Oilers. Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, second half on Hockey Night in Canada. That is a big, big game, Gordon.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, first, what a big game this afternoon. The Red Wings stopping the slide from now against the Buffalo Sabres. That was a true 4-pointer. But on the other side, to your point, out west, as far as, Stanley, I mean, there's I don't know if there's more than usual teams that you think are capable of winning the Stanley Cup, but it does seem that way, and certainly Colorado did it a couple of years ago. Edmonton, wants the chance, feels it's this year, and then you get the two elite players, 2 of the 3, along with Austin Matthews, going at it. So that's going to be a great game to watch later on after this one.
Yeah, speaking of makeovers, Colorado made quite a good amount of additions, remaking their bottom 6, look like a different team in some ways, but it is a rematch of the Western Conference Final from 2 years ago when Edmonton and Colorado met. And of course, Colorado went on to win the Stanley Cup. But maybe more important than that, at least in terms of headlines, Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon, maybe not 1-2 in Hart Trophy voting right now, but pretty close. Austin Matthews probably got to score 70 to get in there. But if we're looking at Hart Trophy candidates and the stretch run towards the trophy, maybe it goes through those 2.
I'm Nathan McKinnon has been my pick. I kind of waffled with Austin Matthews when he went hot for a little while. I know Nikita Kucherov's ticked that he's not getting enough play, and there's other names that you can throw in there. But certainly, I think right now they're and Austin, it's more about the goals because look at the gap he has, or particularly had, but still has, from the second leading goal scorer as well. So 3 special players. Nathan McKinnon's never won it. He seems like a man on a mission for this individual award.
Well, if 70 is the number, Austin Matthews has 40 minutes to make some inroads towards that milestone. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call of the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Big names, big deals. NFL free agency is here.
Sacked! Eaten alive! Chris Jones!
And NFL Radio is with you every step of the way with the latest news and transactions for all 32 teams.
Winning is kind of the ultimate piece, and that's really such a big part of it.
Find out which players will be signing deals with your favorite team in hopes of bringing home the Lombardi Trophy. Follow free agency on NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
We have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. Radio Network.
Leafs nothing and the Carolina Hurricanes nothing. As we get set for the second period on St. Patrick's Day, at least the St. Patrick's Day game, just and Lance Hornby had a great article today in the Toronto Sun, kind of going back in history and the association with the St. Pat's, with St. Michael's College, and all of the other stuff that went on, and how this is all sort of
connected.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of fun to watch. And the Leafs a man short, so right off the face-off win, they shoot it down the ice. Down into the corner now. The penalty is expired. Necas gives the puck away, but Gregor couldn't find his point man, and now the Leafs bring it in on the left wing, and it's swept around the boards to the near side. Gregor got it back towards the blue line. Liljegren fighting for possession. Kept in then by Camp, who will play it back of the net. Kochkov sends it along the boards, and Kuznetsov gets to the line and then circles back. Hurricanes taking their time as they come out at center. Brought to the line, a collision there with Dewar going to the bench with one of the Hurricane players. And Nylander ran out of real estate, but the Leafs get it ahead, and Domi is away. Domi in over the line, looking to drop for Nylander, and does. Nylander rolls it in front of the net, no one going to the net. And then a shot by Bobby McMahon off the left wing is easily smothered by Kochkov, and he'll hold for a face-off coming in the Carolina zone. So I got a chance to chat with Frederick Anderson, who is up in the press box here. Spencer Martin is the backup goaltender. He is an Oakville native and a little richer.
Yeah, signed a nice, 2-year deal, I believe. Stay with the Hurricanes.
So they're going with 3 goaltenders at this point.
Antti Ranta was part of the mix the last few years, but was waived and sent down earlier. And again, another case for how Ilya Samsonov has rebounded.
Jordan Stahl gets it out at center, but the Leafs bring it back to the line and get it in. McMahon working around back of the net, stops up, tried to poke it along the boards for Nylander. That didn't connect, and it is grabbed off by Brett Pesce, and now he'll get a chance to skate up on the right wing and get it out. McMahon couldn't knife it away there from Martinook the first time. Gets it back along the boards the second, now whacking at it, but can't get it down into the zone, and finally it is backhanded by Carolina into the Toronto end. Down the boards is Martinook, trying to get it back again against Lyubushkin. Martinook swings it off a skate, but it comes right back to Burns. His shot went just wide. The rebound near side, and Samsonov had to get over there quickly to make sure Sebastian Aho didn't have one on the back door. Aho works it back to Burns. Centering pass comes in front of the net. A shot again, and down is Samsonov. Svechkov was right in front of the net, and Svechnikov got the backhand away, but again, Samsonov coming across, getting out and getting square.
Now, only 11 official shots on goal by the Hurricanes, and it's got to be at least 4 of them have been outstanding stops. The Leafs have had 10 shots the other way. Korshkov really hasn't been forced to make an outstanding save as of yet. Again, looking at those numbers for Carolina's, we've got a face-off they will redo. We mentioned just baffling numbers of the Hurricanes. Fewest shots given up, but also the fewest block shots by their players.
Be interesting to see if the block shot statistic carries both home and away. Maybe they just got a guy in Carolina that doesn't care to count them. Svechnikov works into the left wing corner. Gets it back into the slot. Shot in traffic. Pad save again. Down is Samsonov, and despite losing his goal stick, is able to cover up on it.
Now, this is when you know Samsonov is locked in, right? When he's able to find those point shots through his screen. When he gets into modes where he's struggling, it's usually drop and lock and hope that the puck finds you somewhere. Here he had to look around 2 or 3 bodies to be able to find the point shot from the middle of the ice.
He's 10-3-1 at home this year. He was 19-3-3 at home last year. And the Leafs trying to get it out, turn the puck over again. Here's a chance for Gensel, a shot, and again Samsonov is called upon to make a glove save after swallowing it up off the chest.
Well, the Leafs have got to be a lot smarter, though, getting the puck out of their own zone. As I'm not sure, was it Timothy Liljegren that tried to launch it from the right wing corner up the middle of the ice, and it got knocked down.
A shot from the point is blockered away, comes in front of the net and back to the blue line. Orlov trying to get a shot, but it was blocked. Orlov keeping it in at the blue line, though, gives it away to Liljegren, and Liljegren carries to center. He'll get to the line with a long shoot and blockered away by Kochkov. The puck back of the Carolina goal is pushed out at center and back into the Toronto end. Lyubushkin had to leave it alone because if he had touched it, there may have been too many men on the ice. Now he gives the puck away. Martinook trying to drive the net, a wrap around in front, and after giving it away, he makes a pretty good play, Lyubushkin does, to block a centering pass. Now a loose puck in front of the goal, in front of the net, a Domi shot. Oh my, Kochkov is able to rebound from a horrific giveaway to stop Domi on the doorstep. Best scoring chance the Leafs have had.
Yeah, and this might have been reviewed because it may have gone off the glove of Austin Matthews when Kochkov came out to clear it.
Yes, it did.
It might have.
Yeah.
Although Matthews does play it to himself, doesn't he? Puck drops and then he's able to send it over, so would not be ruled the hand pass. But yeah, Matthews knocked it down and then slid it over.
Yeah, he did. Yep. But the hand pass he made in Philadelphia was a beaut. Centering pass, far side in the Leaf zone. Another shot is deflected and goes up into the screen, out of play.
By the way, going back to that record, the longest non-shutout streaks, where the Maple Leafs come into this game 228 games. It's regular season and playoffs without being shut out. They're tied with the Chicago Blackhawks, who went from a run from 84 to 87. 228 games. The record is 264. The LA Kings in the late 80s, 86 to 90.
Really? You've done some research.
No, somebody gave me something.
Played out at center ice. Noah Gregor sends it into the zone, but the Hurricanes send it back out, and here's a chance now for Sebastian Aho, and he shot it wide of the net. Down into the corner, the Leafs come away with it in their own zone. To Liljegren. Liljegren chipping it up on the wing. David Camp banks it through center. Got in over the line now. Dewar works along the boards, but can't make a pass for Noah Gregor, who was headed to the front of the net. Gregor gets it along the boards for Camp, back to the blue line, but it's going to poke its way to center as Brody was unable to keep it in with his skate. Now Brody will shoot it back into Carolina territory. Shots are 15-13 favoring Carolina. Isn't this usually the game against the Hurricanes where it's like 7-6?
Yeah. Well, the next gen game a few years ago, yeah.
Boy. Pass off a skate, broken up by the Leafs, and a lead pass. Tavares is behind the defense. He's in a goal. Score! John Tavares off the bench, sifted in behind the defense, and they spotted him. And in he went on the breakaway to open the scoring.
TJ Brodie and Jake McCabe are the defensemen. What I like about this, Joe, is they stand up to force the play higher in their own end. They don't continue to back up and collapse on their goaltender. And it's TJ Brodie that takes it from the left wing side in his own zone and spots John Tavares up at the Carolina blue line. And even though that wasn't the perfect pass, Tavares had to wait for it and then corral it. But he was so wide open, he was given that extra time and then walk in and snap at blocker side to make it 1-0 Toronto.
21st of the year for the Leaf captain. As a pass goes off Slavin down into Carolina territory. Kochkov sending it around the boards. It's going to slide all the way back into the Leaf end. No icing. Morgan Rielly eludes the forecheck. Makes a pass up on the left wing. Brought in over the line by Robertson. Robertson into the corner. Holberg into the corner, sending it around back of the net. That bounced off of Bertuzzi's skate. It comes back to the point. Pontus Holberg with it again to the left wing side, and a shot coming is blockered away by Kochkov. Round back of the net for Holberg again, but it is knocked away. Bertuzzi thinks twice about it, and we get some shoving right in front of the Toronto bench. I think a high stick had made contact with the puck.
There have been a lot more scrums the last month or so, hasn't there been?
Well, you know what? Playoffs are starting, and you like to get into the flow of things, right? Because they usually have won a whistle.
But from a Leaf standpoint, I think you like the fact that they're actually instigating a lot of these scrums afterwards. By the way, for John Tavares, Joe, you mentioned now 21 goals on the season, but that's 9 for the Leaf captain in the last 18 games. So now you're scoring on a 40-goal clip. And
you did that math in your head.
I didn't even write it down. So I got that going for me.
So it looks like it's right.
Yeah. See, 8 and 17 before. Yep. Oh, before analytics.
Before cell phones and everything else. And there are some math teachers sitting back going, those two idiots, how did they even get out of public school?
I said I used to lend the teacher my car.
Face-off wasn't done cleanly. They'll do it over again. What kind of a car was it, by the way?
It was
48 Chev?
It was stolen. I'm growing up in the Sioux. You know, there's some tough neighborhoods.
Well, what's going around in this neighborhood now, you may have to get back into the business.
Yes.
Brought out at center ice by Martinuk, who plays it down into the Leaf end. Slavin into the corner, trying to knock it free. The Leafs unable to get it on the initial attack, and then stolen back by Nylander, and he comes out. Nylander to the left wing side. Rielly got it up on the boards, but unable to get it in on the far side was Domi. Now Domi gets it ahead, and Nylander's behind the defense. Nylander in a goal! Scores! What a move! Holy mackerel! Willie makes it 2-0.
Leafs catch a break again as they come up with a loose puck in front of the Carolina bench. And two of the Hurricanes had already taken off towards Toronto property. And when it was turned over, Willie Nylander was the one that had stuck in behind the defenders, picks it up at the blue line left wing side, and then walks in and scores the skills competition goal on Korchkev to give the Leafs a 2-0 lead.
When you combine he and Matthews, that's 91 goals between the two of them. which leads the NHL as far as duos is concerned. Now McCabe unable to keep the puck in. Carolina get down into the Leaf zone with a long shot that was stopped. The rebound was knocked away before it can be delivered to the net. And the Leafs now, McCabe starting out of his own zone, gets to the red line and shoots it in. 2-0 Toronto. Both goals scored here in the second period. Both of them on breakaways. Tavares and Nylander as a shot off a stick goes up into the screen. Out of play. Brody got the lone assist on the Tavares goal without a goal, but 18 assists. And everybody talking about, well, which defenseman's going to be able to make that long outlet pass? A lot of them can do it. At any rate, it's 2-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate, as in while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Morgan Riley draws the lone assist on Nylander's goal. As I mentioned, that's 91 goals between Matthews and Nylander. Draisaitl and Hyman are the next biggest duo. That's 79. And even when you add a threesome with Marner in the mix, the Leafs still have that lead, even though you add McDavid to the list.
Carolina, on the other hand, don't have a 30-goal scorer, but they have 25 20-goal guys, including Jake Gensel that they picked up.
Long shot knocked down at the side of the Leaf goal. Played back to the point. Slavin in with a shot. That's steered wide of the net by the stick of Samsonov. And the Maple Leafs are going to get the puck to the blue line and out. Noah Gregor plays it into the left wing corner and gets in there ahead of Brett Burns. Gregor had it knocked off his stick by Burns. It goes high in the air. Too high, actually. Goes down the screen and drops at the feet of someone in the front row. Look at that, Martha. They're giving away 3 pucks.
Hey, somebody else you would like with this opportunity tonight kind of contribute in a noticeable way, Noah Gregor. I mean, we were so impressed with him early on in the season, but he has now gone 27 games without a goal.
Leafs win the face-off. A centering pass. Matthews was on the doorstep. Another shot is kicked away by Kochkov. Matthews with it along the left wing boards, gets it into the corner for Pontus Holberg. Holberg was knocked down, had a pretty good grasp of the Carolina player's stick when he went down, and now the Leafs have to scamper back, and they do, to get it freed up now with the puck on the far side. Holberg couldn't get it ahead. Matthews was there. Brought back in by Carolina. Long shot deflects wide of the Leaf net. Liljegren up ahead for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi, a pass to center. Holberg gets it in over the line. Matthews after it as it goes around back of the net. Austin Matthews plus 23. Sees across the line again. Got a shot away. Ooh, that had a little mustard on it, didn't it?
That was the patented toe drag around the defender and then just snapping towards the net.
Tavares, a pass ahead at center. Robertson sends it in over the line for Nyes. Nyes back of the net for Robertson. Tried to chip it in front for an awaiting Tavares, but it never reached him. Tavares into the near corner. 2-0 Toronto. 56 seconds from the midway point of the hockey game. And Netcash will get it up on the wing and out at center ice. Brought to the line and in by Gunsel. Drop pass, and there's going to be a penalty to Toronto. It'll be touched here.
This is a great sell.
Yeah, it's holding.
This was this. You got to thank the Academy for this. As it was, Nate just went cartwheeling into the Leaf zone.
So the third power play of the game for Carolina.
And what's this? You see it on the big screen? I mean, this is, Matthew Nyes was trying to be cute, but I think Martin Aegis did a real good job of saying, oh, wait, I'm not going to get there anyway.
Or it's a long way to get there. Looks like we're missing a linesman. Yes, we are. And so that is Steve Barton has not been able to continue for some reason. Here is Aho back to the point to Burns. Fed over on the right wing side. Grabbed off by Svechnikov. He lost it, but the Leafs don't get it out. It comes to Aho in the near corner. Around the boards far side. Good play by Dewar to knock his man down. Can't get the puck free, though. It comes to Aho in the slot. Look, a pass in, and that was kicked away nicely by Samsonov. And the Leafs this time will get it off the boards, and David Kampf will get it the rest of the way. The Leafs are going to get a wholesale change done of penalty killers. Nylander out at the top end on the far side with Dewar. And it's cleared into the corner. Around back of the net. Carolina getting it back to the point to Burns to Aho. Shot off a leg. Willie's got it, and he's got one man back. Nylander in over the line. He's got a man going hard to the net. Nylander in with a shot. And it went high and up into the screen and out of play. And as he looks back, take a look at Dewar, who he said, you know what? It was Pontus Holberg going to the net for him.
Yeah, I think this catches the crossbar. By the time Willie Nylander held on to it and took it into the Carolina zone, into the right wing circle, Brent Burns had really taken away the pass option to Holberg. And it looks like Korchkov has gone to the bench to get his skate sharpened. Quickly, 50 seconds left in the Carolina power play.
So the face-off in the Carolina zone to the left. Bobby McMahon and Noah Gregor, the penalty-killing forwards. And the draw won by Carolina with 45 seconds left now in the power play. 2-0 Toronto. Pass in on the right side and driving the net on an angle, and the shot is swallowed up by Samsonov as Netcash broke in off the right wing.
Well, since December the 12th, Mr. Bowen, the Carolina Hurricanes on the road are 12-1-2. 3.53 goals for, 1.73 goals against. So, I mean, their numbers defensively have been incredible. Like we said, all while allowing the fewest shots on average per game.
Leafs are able to punch it out at center, and racing after it, Bobby McMahon, who's in on goal! And he backhanded it just wide. Goes after his own rebound, but can't come up with it.
Boy, was that a speed burst or what?
Was it ever? And McMahon to the bench after saying, okay, I'm pretty tired after that. Better get somebody on here.
Switch the turbo on, yeah.
And it's cleared back out at center ice. Matthews racing after it, but can't come up with it. Now brought back to the line. Netcash playing it off on the wing. That's tipped by, and Matthews is away. One man back. Matthews into the slot area and shooting! And that was stopped by Korchkov. Boy, the Leafs have had great opportunities by turning the puck over at their own blue line. And two of them have led to breakaway chances and goals. And now you add Matthews and Bobby McMahon to that list, or this game could be quite a bit different. Here's Tavares as the penalty is expired. Got a return pass into the corner by Robertson. Played around the boards near side, and Jordan Stahl is there to get it out at center. Robertson ties his man up, and another break. This time Tavares after it. Tavares into the corner, centers, they score! Nicky Robertson! For a team that prides itself on its defensive responsibilities, the Carolina Hurricanes have given up some glorious chances.
It has been incredible, and it looked like they were going to survive the initial chance by Tavares, who couldn't settle the puck down. It bounced over his stick right at the Carolina blue line, or it would have been a breakaway, but he chases it down in the left wing circle, pulls up, spins, and throws it out to Nick Robertson. And Robertson, who had been a healthy scratch 6 straight games and had scored only once in 14, takes the pass from Tavares and snaps it over the glove of Korchkov to give the Leafs the 3-0 lead. So a huge penalty kill. And I mean, and this is huge for Nick Robertson to get back in because of the injuries and to contribute offensively.
Offside at the Carolina blue line will bring us to a commercial timeout. A big second period for the Maple Leafs, who have scored 3 unanswered goals. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's your school's road to the Final Four? Find out when the brackets are unveiled tomorrow at 6 Eastern on Sirius XM College Sports Radio's Selection Sunday Special. And throughout March, hear men's college basketball's winningest coach on Basketball and Beyond with Coach K.
Basketball takes over. That's what makes our tournament so very, very exciting. I'm geeked up about it.
It's Basketball and Beyond with Coach K. Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 5 Eastern throughout the tournament on College Sports Radio, Channel 84 in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Ashton won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The NHL trade deadline is coming.
Friday, March 8th. Tune in for all-day coverage.
Beginning at 7 a.m. with NHL Morning Skate.
At 11 a.m., it's Mick Kern and your calls.
At 1 p.m., Boomer Gordon brings you the trades as they happen. Then,
when the bell rings at 3 p.m. Eastern,
Steve Koulias and the Power Play break it all down. The best analysis, insight, and breaking news.
Follow at SiriusXM NHL on X.
And tune into Trade Deadline Day. NHL Network Radio.
NHL Network Radio.
On demand.
On demand with the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Leafs Radio Network.
Ilya Samsonov held the Carolina Hurricanes at bay, and the Leafs offense has exploded. And I see that Steve Barton has made his way back. And so we have the full officiating crew. He kind of had a little washroom emergency he had to look at. Played down into the Toronto zone. Down into the near corner. Back of the net, trying to work out with it there is Kotkaniemi. He works back towards the blue line. Too well covered. Leafs McMahon punching it out, and it's going to slide all the way down onto the goaltender stick. And he took a little bit of... I don't know if I'd want to play that the way he did, but okay.
Yeah, especially when he had that attempt picked off by Matthews a little earlier in the period.
Nylander back of the goal, trying to strip it. He did! He rolled it in front of shot! Oh, and Domi is robbed by Kochkov.
Boy, the Leafs are really forcing the Hurricanes to turn the puck over a lot here in the second period.
Brought out by Dmitry Orlov and shot into the Toronto zone. Pontus Holberg around back of the net for McCabe. Got it ahead. Banked by Bertuzzi to center ice. Played back by the Hurricanes and backhanded into the Toronto zone. Down into the corner is Stahl. Back of the net it goes for Jesper Fast to the point shot. That's knocked down, and then they score on the rebound. Martinook in front of the net. Really not much Samsonov could do because he made the blocker save but couldn't get his glove on it. And the rebound is tipped home, and the Hurricanes stop the bleeding with a goal that makes it 3-1.
Yeah, Pontus Holberg with Martinook in front. And once the shot got through, Holberg let him go as they both turned to see where the puck was, and Martinook was able to get a stick free and on a very simple play by the Hurricanes. Dump it in and go after it. TJ Brody was unable to make a play with it in behind the Leaf net. And Ilya Samsonov, who stayed on his feet to make the blocker save on the Burns point shot. Got back down the butterfly, but wasn't able to seal it off. And that could be a huge goal for Carolina.
Played back into the Leaf zone. Samsonov plays it into the corner. Edmondson to Tavares, to Robertson. He couldn't make a play, but Edmondson has more room. And a pass to Robertson has allowed him to circle back in his own zone, but he is surrounded there as the puck comes out at center ice, and Liljegren gets it ahead to Tavares. Tavares in over the line, saucered it in again, and a kick save made by Kochkov as roaring to the net was Nyes. That was another shot by Robertson that was a pretty good scoring chance. Now a giveaway, and in on goal, another shot, stopped by Samsonov, and it's going to be cleared by the Leafs. Robertson to center.
Boy, that time it was Ilya Lyubushkin. Made a high danger play, tried to get it off the boards and up to John Tavares in the left wing circle, and it was picked off. So the Leafs turned
give the puck away, and they do again, and the pass went right through the goal crease. Knifed out at center ice. Played in over the line by Connor Dewar, but unable to find Gregor. It comes back out at center. Dewar with it again. Once more gives the puck away, though, on a pass, and the Hurricanes will steer it back down into the zone. Dewar, along with Svechnikov, were hacking and whacking at one another. Here's a chance now for Orlov. A centering pass doesn't come through. Leafs are going to get to it and play it down the left wing boards, and it is not going to have enough to go for icing. Leafs get a change in with 4:46 to go in the period. All of the scoring here in the second stanza, and it's 3-1 Toronto. Brought in over the line by Orlov. Orlov against the boards, drops it off. Kotkaniemi played to the far wing. Leafs get it to the blue line, but not out. Kotkaniemi again on the right wing side, down low, a pass off a skate and off the side of the net. Banks its way all the way to center ice. Chatfield will play it harmlessly all the way down in on goal. Samsonov, he kind of stuck the rear end out there at Stefan Noesen. No chance, and then a shot comes the other way, and a good try by Matthews to deflect it as it just went wide of the net.
Sure, if you're Rod Brindamore and the Carolina Hurricanes, you're saying, okay, we got to be perfect the rest of the game defensively to come back and get something out of this. But 34 hasn't scored yet. And you're hoping you can keep them off the board.
Played around the boards to the near side. Holberg got it freed up. A pass, though, is intercepted by Jordan Stahl. Stahl dropping for Fast. Then a shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Trapped at the far point by Brady Shea. Dropped off on the wing, and a shot blocked in front of the net. Oh, and a good pad save made by Samsonov off a rebound in front of the net. 24 shots for Carolina, and I'll tell you what, Ilya Samsonov is the game's #1 star. Right back down into the Leaf end. Played around the boards for Edmondson. Tipped up at center, and off the bench comes Camp on the wing, working down into the corner, stops it up, looking to kind of cycle the puck, and does for Noah Gregor. Gregor curls out. Gregor working back on the far half boards. Gregor now driving the net, goes around back of the goal. Banks it back to the blue line for Lyubushkin. to defense partner Riley. Return to Lyubushkin. Wrist shot, pad save, rebound in front of the net. Kemp couldn't finish. Cleared off the stick of Riley to center ice.
Boy, Kotzkov was trying to get a goaltender interference call. The referee pointing that his own man was responsible.
Riley in with a shot that goes off his stick and up into the screen. 2:27 remaining to be played here in the period. Liljegren gets an additional assist on the Robertson goal, and it is Martinuk from Burns and Fast. It is 3-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage, I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Here's a chance in front for Kemp, trying to get in front of net. He scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Face-off coming in the Carolina zone to the right of Kochkov.
Willie Nylander has one tonight. By the way, his brother Alex. 7 goals in 11 games now with the Columbus Blue Jackets. It'll be nice, I'm sure, for Willie to see his brother find a place. Been in Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, well, I believe.
Draw one by Carolina, and a long lead pass has gone astray, and Morgan Riley outraces Sebastian Aho to the icing, and it'll come back into the Carolina zone.
Leafs have really got to play the end of the second period here like they're holding on to a 1-goal lead late in the third. Build a 3-0 lead. Carolina gets one back, but feel a lot better taking a 2-goal lead into the third period, or maybe adding to it.
Draw scrum to the far boards. Carolina are able to push it out at center. They work with Aho in over the line, but his pass deflects down into the near corner. Now back at the net for Morgan Riley, around on the boards, and it'll be brought out by the Maple Leafs, who get it to center for Matthews. In on the left wing for Bertuzzi. Matthews is dragged down going to the front of the net without a call. That was holding. Bertuzzi unable to come up with it as it's pushed out at center. Now it rolls back down on goaltender Samsonov, and he's going to cover up with 1:47 to go.
Yeah, that might have been a little more obvious one, was it?
I think so.
Somebody going to the net for a loose puck. Right now, power plays have favored the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2. They got 4 holding penalties and a hooking penalty.
Draw to the right in the Toronto zone. Scrummed, controlled by Brody. Got it ahead. Pushed ahead at center looking for Nylander, but that was cut off. And now here's Orlov coming back the other way. Orlov in on the far side. Pass in front of the net, and driving the net there was Necas, but they couldn't come up with it. Kept alive to the far side. Kuznetsov, a long shot. That was blockered away nicely by Samsonov. Again, Carolina back to the point. Dmitry Orlov gets a return pass. Knocked out. Oh, boy. Never mind the holding at the one end. This is...
Well, I mean, it is a trip. But you just let one go. Anyway, it'll be 4-2 power plays for Carolina here, and at a huge time, 1:09 to go in the second period. But the Leafs holding on to a 2-goal lead, but the Leafs have really struggled at times in their own end, haven't they, Joe? I mean, full control of the puck, but the forecheck of the Carolina Hurricanes causing many problems, and this was Jake McCabe going out, and when Orlov tried to dance around him, McCabe missed with the poke check and got the skate blade right in between the skates of Orlov.
18:51 the time of the penalty. And the draw scrum, but the Leafs are going to come up with it and punch it out at center, and hustling after it is Connor Dewar. He's in alone. Oh, and he couldn't get a shot away as Burns got back in time to push him wide of the net.
What a smart play, though, and then turns on the afterburners to get to the puck before Burns.
47 seconds left in the period. Sebastian Aho in over the line. Fed off on the right wing side, Svechnikov. Around the boards, it's going to come to the near side and back to Burns at the left point. Burns down into the corner once more. Gets it returned at the blue line, and it bounced out over into neutral ice and will force Carolina back to regroup, and now they just shoot it in. Far side, Svechnikov. Back to the point to Burns. Burns off a stick, it goes high. Knocked into the corner then. Grabbed off, back to the point for Aho to Burns. Looking to return the favor, goes down into the corner instead. Gets it back again at the point, now to Aho. Aho 6 seconds. Into the slot area and a shot. Big pad save, the rebound, scores. Seth Jarvis off to the side of the net with 2.7 seconds left in the period. Makes it a 3-2 hockey game.
Now, you knew eventually 4 power plays in 2 periods. Eventually, Carolina was going to cash in. They were 3 for 29 in the previous 10 coming in. And the importance of Brent Burns getting back to at least disrupt Colin Dewar on a shorthanded rush. But then Dewar was on the ice, Joe, and the puck came back the other way and was absolutely out of gas. Sebastian Aho threw to the middle of the ice to Jake Gensel. Gensel's one-timer was stopped, but the rebound put up and over the right pad of Samsonov, and what looked like a very comfortable 3-0 lead has now shrunk here in the later parts of the second period.
Jarvis is 22nd of the season at 19:57. And the Carolina Hurricanes score on their 4th power play opportunity to narrow the margin to 3-2. We'll step aside. Gord Stellick coming along with Justin Cuthbert as the Leafs have a 1-goal lead to take to the 3rd. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They say March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. But March roars all this week on Sports Grid Radio as we get you ready for the NCAA tournament.
Look at what they did out of conference. This team is battle-tested across the board here.
Who's in? Who's out? Who will cut down the nets? And most importantly, which teams will cover the spread?
They are not legitimate to go on a Elite Eight or Final Four run at all.
Get the first look at the odds for every game on the Sports Grid Radio Selection Sunday Special. Sunday at 7 in the East on Channel 159 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastion won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Mr. Rick Tocchet, if you're taking a mix of coaches you had the best of, what is that mix for Rick Tocchet?
Scotty Bowman behind the bench, tactician. Mike Keenan, a lot of stuff that coaches do now, he did. Jim Schoenfeld, the father figure. Mike Sullivan. I still talk to guys like Craig Berube, Travis Green. So, there's a mixture, and then you got to find your own niche, right?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Hey Toronto, I'm David Morsuti, host of the daily Toronto Maple Leafs podcast, Locked On Leafs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network on the Sirius XM app. Every weekday, we bring you the latest Leafs news and analysis, break down all the action, including this game you're listening to right now, and preview the next one. We're giving you everything a Leafs fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast. Download Locked On Leafs right now on the Sirius XM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or where you get your podcasts. Search Locked On.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
Robertson ties his man up in another break. This time Tavares after it. Tavares into the corner, centers, they score! Nicky Robertson!
Welcome back to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs 3, Hurricanes 2 after 2. The second period, Gord, was a lot more interesting than the first. Things definitely heated up. But 2 unanswered goals, one with 2.7 seconds left off the stick of Seth Jarvis, has this third period looking a little bit different than it did about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Well, even before Jarvis got that late goal, I was going, oh boy, the tide has really turned. The Carolina Hurricanes, and boy, they self-imploded, did Carolina. Those were uncharacteristic goal-edge opportunities. Well, Robertson was just a great play, but the other two basically clear-cut breakaways, and that's something Carolina does a great job protecting against. So Leafs have the 3-0 lead, but then the Hurricanes kind of slow it down, get their sense, get back in the game, and I know, Joe and Jim talk about officiating's part of the game. You take the good calls with the not-so-good calls, and Austin Matthews, there should have been one on that, didn't, so be it. You got to get out, try to kill the penalty. I thought, Colin Duar made a great play as far as going in, but then they all got stuck. They got stuck for the full minute, one man short, with one chance to change. So they were pretty kind of gassed by the end of it as well. And Carolina, Brent Burns took all the time in the world before he made the right play with a couple of seconds left.
Yeah, the secret to that period offensively, at least for the Toronto Maple Leafs, was slipping John Tavares behind the Carolina Hurricanes D. Tavares opened the scoring, taking a stretch pass, simple pitch and catch really from TJ Brody, but he was kind of late getting out of the zone. He was behind the Carolina defense, scored on a breakaway, and then a little later on we heard Robertson's goal coming in. Tavares again was behind the D, gets it going, gets up ice, and is able to turn back after his first chance was thwarted and hits a cutting Robertson, who scores again at even strength. Only 5 Maple Leafs have more 5-on-5 goals than Nick Robertson's 8. And Robertson has only played in 42 of the Maple Leafs' 66 games, so He's not getting much opportunity on the power play, of course. And Robertson's still not getting that much opportunity overall, and he still leaves a little bit to be desired, but maybe there's more there than he's been given credit for, at least in terms of production.
Oh, absolutely, and what a nice goal. Huh? I mean, that's the thing. That was a goal scorer's goal. He did that in junior, and that's the thing. And, of course, we know his brother Jason in Dallas, how he's played, and it just was nice, quick play, jamming it in. he did in that particular instance. And he's not on the fourth line this time, so he's getting a chance to one of the top three lines. But, besides Samsonov, who played great, you're right, John Tavares had just made those kind of sneaky good plays providing the offense, and they almost had another one late, one of those tip-ins before things started going the other way.
William Nylander tied a career high with his 87th point, scoring the nicest of the 3 goals, at least in my opinion. A beautiful backhand move to beat Pyotr Kochetkov to make it 2-0. The Nylander story just continues. I mean, he's having a wonderful season to match a career high, to have so much runway to get to 100 points. This could be hopefully not the career season overall for William Nylander, because there's 8 more years to come. But this has been a great year, and William Nylander continues his ascension.
No, absolutely. And boy, yeah, you see the way he can control the puck in the offensive zone too. And when Sheldon, it's a long time now since Sheldon Keefe took over from Mike Babcock. But one thing you noticed right away is he liked the team to hang on to the puck more. And then when you have skilled players like Nylander, you're able to do it. The ones that can cut in front of the net when they get a chance to do it. So anyway, we'll find out in the third period whether it's Nylander and others. You're going to need to get the momentum back going the Toronto Maple Leafs way.
If we see another Hurricane power play in the third period, it might be where both coaches get a little aggrieved, because certainly Carolina has been at its worst tonight when it's been on the power play, and the Maple Leafs giving up another power play goal there late, despite Carolina stumbling through a lot of their opportunities. Leafs have now surrendered 6 power play goals in their last 6 games. Special teams outscored 7-1 in March, so I don't think Rod Brandemore's got to be happy. He'll take the goal with 2.7 seconds left for sure, but it's looked really bad at times for Carolina, and overall it's looked really bad for the Maple Leafs on special teams, despite getting a lot of chances shorthanded in this game. It seemed like they could have had their bust opportunities. A lot of them came while shorthanded, but they're still not getting the results they need.
Yeah, I mentioned about Connor Dwyer, just about that. Just a lot of speed he's showing as well as a penalty killer. But maybe that'll be like the Pittsburgh Penguins had that ridiculous streak that they didn't score like in 70 minutes with the man advantage a few months ago. Maybe this gets Carolina going, that particular power play goal. It was a well thought out play, intelligent play to get it to the right person with a few seconds left. But the Maple Leafs on a great tear in the last 15 games, but the last 3, you're right, special teams have been a killer.
Let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up the intermission next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NHL's premier esports event is back with the EA Sports NHL 24 World Championship. It's a whole new season of tournaments, events, and prizes. Catch the action as the best gamers in the world compete to win the EA Sports NHL 24 World Championship. Tune in to twitch.tv/NHL to catch the exciting end of the NHL esports season.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like salivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today and welcome to uncommon winter confidence.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back into Molson Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. The Toronto Maple Leafs or Toronto St. Pat's tonight lead the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2 after 40 minutes. Gord, we talked a lot about the additions for the Hurricanes before the deadline. Gensel in, Kuznetsov in. Haven't seen much from them tonight. 3 shots for Gensel, nothing really from Evgeny Kuznetsov. A little disappointing because I thought I'd see a little bit more from those two in particular for the Hurricanes tonight.
Agreed. Now, the first period was kind of a feeling it out period for both teams, and then the second period, I mean, the Leafs just exploded. So they had that juggernaut for 13 of the 20 minutes. So it's really the last 7 minutes the Hurricanes have got going, scored those 2 goals, and a big thing is they've taken the crowd a bit out of the game. I was here with you 2 weeks ago. That Ranger game was off the charts electric. Crowd was so in it. It was comparable with the 3-0 lead, and now it's gone back that the Hurricanes take control at the end. They've cut the lead down to 1. So you get the feeling that, okay, will it be their star players, the ones that haven't shown up some more that maybe make the difference in the third, or can the Leafs get back control of the game or momentum of the game like they had before?
Busy night in the NHL, so let's get to the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Finals from today. The Senators beat the Islanders in overtime. Red Wings 4-1 over the Sabres. Rangers beat the Penguins 7-4. Coyotes get a 4-1 victory over the Devils. And the Tampa Bay Lightning send Florida to its second straight loss. 5-3 the final. Ongoing now. The Flames have a 3-2 lead over the Canadiens. It's 2-2 Flyers Bruins. 3-1 Blue Jackets over Sharks. Scoreless Wild and Blues. Start of the second period, and the Dallas Stars end of 1 have a 3-0 lead over the Los Angeles Kings. Still to come tonight, Avalanche and Oilers, a big one. Predators, Kraken, Capitals, and Canucks. Okay, Gord, the Maple Leafs, rather, clinging to a 1-goal lead here. What do they got to do to make sure they leave this building tonight with 2 points?
Well, I don't think they're going to get that kind of defensive faux pas from Carolina again, those kind of breakaway gifts they took advantage of. So they have to get back a little bit more of a structured attack, figuring it out to kind of contain what Carolina's been able to do the last 7 minutes, and don't sit on the 1-goal lead, okay? Don't sit on the 1-goal lead.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game, especially against a Hurricanes team that hasn't necessarily shown the offensive capability that we thought with those additions coming in tonight, but they're an opportunistic bunch, and they're going to sit back and they're not going to change the way that they play, and for that reason, it could be a dangerous and tricky third period for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but 2 big points on the table tonight. It'd be nice to steal one and feel good about yourself beating a really legit team in the Carolina Hurricanes. Joe Bowen, Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As U2's history-making residency at the Las Vegas Sphere draws to a close, hear the final performance.
40 nights, every night a surprise. The technology is an aid, but the audience is the key thing.
Along with the story behind it.
It's going to change the way that people enjoy music going forward.
U2 at the Sphere, premiering tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on U2X Radio, Channel 32, and in the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up,
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The best hockey lives here.
Barnes gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Leafs with a 3-2 lead to take to the third period after opening up a 3-0 lead. Even strength goal again by Nick Robertson. When you consider even strength where he lives on the team, he's like about 6th on the list for even strength goals. Now, he doesn't play a lot on the power play, obviously.
No, only has the one power play goal in the year, and I think that was one of the blowout games against San Jose at home.
A centering pass trickles to the goal line. The Leafs are able to get it out. Oh my! That was in behind Samsonov. He took that awful look behind him, and then it trickled right along the line and was knocked out. And so the Leafs dodge a bullet there.
I think it was Joel Edmondson, Joe, that came to the rescue.
Now brought in by Aho on the left wing. Aho's pass intercepted in front of the net, pushed to the line and out, and Matthews is out. Matthews' pass for Bertuzzi didn't work. A delayed offside, and the Carolina Hurricanes will get it back into the Leaf end. Morgan Riley. Stick handles deeper, forced back by Martinook. Got it ahead for Nick Robertson. Robertson turns, a pass ahead off Riley's stick, doesn't get into the zone, and now it's cleared back into the Toronto end. Chipping it along the boards was Jesper Fast. It comes back to the point. Long shot. Deflects and goes past Samsonov, but up into the screen.
I'm seeing good team blow a 3-0 lead recently. Dallas at home against the Florida Panthers. They were up 3-0 on Florida. Panthers came back and won at 4-3 in regulation. But yeah, Joel Edmondson somehow, and I don't know how, he is able to curl it off the goal line. Timothy Liljegren was there as well. Ilya Samsonov had no idea where it was.
Draw to the right of Samsonov. Chipped around back of the net. And Tavares is there to play it off on the wing, and McCabe gets it to the line and out. And the Hurricanes trying to shoot it back in again. Leafs steal it, and Tavares launches it in on the left wing. Knies after the puck along the boards. Chipped along for Svechnikov. He doesn't get it out. Kept in at the near boards at the point by Robertson. But around back of the net goes Brett Pesce, and he'll get it out into neutral ice and play it to the Toronto blue line. And the Hurricanes control it now with a centering pass, and just off the stick of Kotkaniemi. And now the Leafs have sent it down into Carolina territory, but no icing. Brought right back in again by the Hurricanes. Stahl back to the point. Chatfield holds, wets the wrist shot, goal. That may have grazed the goalpost on the far side. Another shot in traffic, deflects wide of the Leaf net. Chatfield down to the corner, centered in front, intercepted by the Leafs. Fed ahead, and Nylander skates to center and just dumps it in. Domi took a high stick in the face. No call from either official. Brought back by Chatfield. Rolled it towards the net, but out of the reach of Stahl. Down into the corner it goes. Crowd calling for a penalty there. None coming. Burns a shot. That was blocked before it reached the Leaf goal. Now a bank pass ahead for Noah Gregor. Gregor against the boards, tried to play it in deep, but didn't get it in deep. And it is right back at center ice now for Carolina as the pass comes ahead and the Leafs steal. Here's David Kampf, in and scores! A turnover right at the blue line, and David Kampf down the left wing finds the 5-hole and opens up a 2-goal lead.
First in 10 games for David Kampf, second in 36. And this is a big one. Picks up the loose puck off the near boards, the left wing boards, and has a lane into the Carolina zone. Gets into the face-off dot and snaps it along the ice 5-hole.
Boy, you talk about
is that 3 off the
secondary
rush?
Scoring, yeah. But, you know, Bertuzzi, Holberg, Nyes the other night. Tonight, Robertson and Kampf add to Tavares and Nylander, and the Leafs have a 2-goal lead again. A pass ahead off a stick, and now Pontus Holberg trying to drive in. Made a move to try and cut to the middle, but it rolled off his stick. Now he's able to steal it back. Kampf into the corner. Bertuzzi tried to center. That didn't work. It comes to Matthews. Matthews gets it back to the blue line to Liljegren. Liljegren down the boards, squeezed along there. It comes in front for Matthews! Oh, what a chance he had from position A. Did that graze the goal post? Centering pass in front of the net. Bertuzzi with a shot. And that was blocked in front by Brady Shea. And it's cleared to center ice. My goodness.
I mean, you can criticize the Leafs' play defensively for Carolina getting back into the game, but boy, the Hurricanes turned the puck over, giving up lots off the rush.
Almost another turnover here, but the Leafs have to go back to center ice to flip it in. And Kuznetsov will play it off on the left wing now for Orlov. Orlov got it ahead and pushed in by Nekash. Round back of the net. That didn't work. And it's pushed out at center ice. And back to retrieve it now are Carolina. Orlov hits the Leaf blue line. Fed it in on the left wing side. A centering pass went well wide of the net. Kuznetsov traps, shoots right on. Stopped by Samsonov. Leafs elevated out at center. McMahon racing after it. Trying to beat Chatfield. Got it to Nylander. Back of the net. That went right by Bobby McMahon to the near corner with time and space now for Chatfield to go back and recover the puck.
Well, there's been a couple of times Bobby McMahon's speed has been really noticeable from here, hasn't it? There was another one. Chasing one down on the right wing side. Blowing passes. Defense opposition.
Delayed offside at the Leaf blue line is whistled down, and that'll bring a face-off into neutral ice. 14:47 to go. Riley picks up his second assist, and it is David Kampf, 6th goal of the season.
By the way, Seth Jarvis, who has the second Carolina goal and now has 22 on the season. He was a Leaf first-round pick that was dealt to Carolina in the Patrick Marleau deal. That was the thank you for taking the Marleau contract off the hands, and we got a penalty right off the face-off. And now the big question is, who's got it?
Well, it's a Hurricane going to the box.
That might have been Noah Gregor that got clipped in the high stick right off the face-off.
Carolina 48, minor penalty, high stick.
Yep.
Martinuk.
Jordan Martinuk, who has the first Carolina goal, goes to the box. You know, when it comes to power play stats and everything else, Joe, or even on the penalty kill, they're like big saves. It's not necessarily how many you get, but when you get them. That's the key time in a game. And this is huge for the Leafs to be able to restore their 3-goal lead.
But their specialty teams have just been going in the opposite directions.
They've been horrid of late.
On the penalty kill, they've been terrible, and then the power play has not been able to even keep pace.
1 for 22 in this stretch for the Leafs.
Well, let's get it done now and have it really flourish in the postseason now. Here's the centering pass. Off on the wing and a shot. Rattled wide of the net as Matthews got it away. Kept in by Liljegren at the blue line. Centering pass by Nylander didn't work. It comes back to Liljegren to the far side for Riley. And now Matthews getting it back to the blue line. Liljegren with a shot that's high and wide over off the glass. Cleared to the line. Good play by Tavares to keep it in. Tavares on the wing for Riley. Back it goes to Nylander. Nylander closes. Got a shot away. Hit a leg. Riley with it once more. Centering pass. Matthews with a one-timer. Good pad save by the Carolina goalkeeper, but the Hurricanes can't clear. Back it goes to Liljegren, a shot. Big rebound in front for Tavares, and then Matthews had it partially blocked as it looked like he had a glorious chance. Played in over the line by Nylander, who is heading to the bench with Matthews. Sebastian Aho for the man going hard to the net, and a shot! What a glove save! Jesper Fast broke it alone, but Sammy says no, sir.
Boy, both teams going for a line change, and it was Fast that came off the bench. And nobody from the Leafs were able to pick him up. And he ends up making a save reminiscent of a young Bruce Campbell, doesn't he? Samsonov flashes the leather.
I don't ever think there was a young Bruce Campbell.
It is, one of the amazing things, you look at players from the 60s that were like 27 and they look like they were in
40.
the 50s.
I know. Here's Robertson into the slot. Nice is right in. And it was just knocked off his stick before he could deliver the payload. Power play with 17 seconds left in it. McCabe down low, centered in front. Nyes was right there on a nice centering feed by Bertuzzi. Now Domi getting it back to the blue line. Robertson with a shot that is blocked. Back of the net, Robertson heading for the bench to get a defenseman on as it is cleared to the side of the net. Centered in front of the net for Nyes by Bertuzzi and knocked away. Penalty expires. And Domi trying to keep the puck in and has, but can't get it in a little deeper to where Bertuzzi was waiting. But it comes back now to the blue line, and Brody unable to reach it as it comes back into the Leaf end.
Second unit looked pretty good, though, didn't they?
Didn't it? Played out and down into Carolina territory. Racing after it was Noah Gregor, but it's pushed to center ice by the Hurricane. And now on the left wing, David Camp, who scored here in the third period to restore a 2-goal lead. Down into the corner. Out come the Hurricanes off a skate. Gobbled up again. Connor Dewar centering again, and Camp just couldn't get by the last defender. Left wing side, Svechnikov played deep into the Toronto end. Samsonov around on the boards for Lyubushkin. Lyubushkin got it ahead. The pass looking for Matthews didn't connect. Brought back by Nekashin on the right side. And he has it stolen away. And Matthews banks it off the boards to himself and brings it to center. He'll flip it into the left wing corner. Down after it is Bobby McMahon as it comes around on the wall and comes back to the point. Edmondson to the far side. A shot. Rebound. Oh, and a chance in front of the net. And Pontus Holberg had that deflect just wide. He looked skyward after that one. Edmondson around on the boards. Leafs just need to get it out, and they do. Backhanded in on a delayed offside, and Joel Edmondson has it once more. Nearing the midway part of the third period. Leafs with a 4-2 lead. Nyes launches it into the left wing corner and goes in there after it. Down on the far side is Tavares. Tavares couldn't slash it back of the net. Nyes has to go off a skate, come to center ice, and now trying to get it back in there was Robertson, only to have it turned over and brought back the other way. Brought in over the line by Brendan Lemieux. He plays it into the corner and around back of the net. Robertson got it ahead, and the Leafs just need to get it out, and Tavares does just that. Changes coming for the boys in the Kelly Green uniforms here on St. Patrick's Day. Lemieux and Nyes jostling a little bit as both players went to their respective benches. Camp got it ahead, played in on the left wing nicely there by Dewar. Round back of the net, Orlov, and he's going to get it out at center ice and clear down into the Toronto end. Toronto 4, the Hurricane 2. Around on the boards, it's going to come to the near point. Chatfield keeps it in and gets it back of the net, and a wrap-around attempt was stopped, and the Leafs are going to just get it out at center ice. Orlov tried to step into Noah Gregor, and he got his head up in time and delivered the blow instead of taking it. Here's Burns. The former Shark gets it to the line and in on the right wing. He's going to wander around back of the net, tried to center, and it's gone off a stick and up into the screen, out of play. And let's see where they're going to bring this face
Carolina is trying to say that Max Domi knocked this out on his own, but I thought right away the linesman made the gesture that went off a stick of Sebastian Aho before it went out.
Well, they're going to discuss it. We'll figure it out when we come back. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Major League Soccer is back, and you can hear Miami's magisterial one in action on Sirius XM FC. Whenever Lionel Messi hits a sumptuous pass, scores a world-class goal, produces a moment of pure magic for Inter Miami. Magisterial, Lionel! You'll hear it on your home for MLS, Sirius XM FC 157, and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
I'm with John Cooper, head coach of the Lightning. You've been in Tampa 12 years. Do you think you could run the table where you are?
You know, we have something special here. For me personally, as long as the fire still burns and the burn to win and to make this city proud, I will do this as long until they kick me out. And as long as that's happening, if somebody takes me, I'll be there to give them everything I have.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The Avs got a little Jekyll and Hyde going on this year. And when they're rolling, they look unstoppable, and you think, wow, no one's going to slow down the Avs. And then when it doesn't go well, you go, they're just not deep enough. Nichushkin isn't there right now. We don't know if Landeskog is going to come back. Yes, Colorado's good, Jake, but unless McKinnon's getting 2-3 points every night, they don't have the parts.
Point with Boomer Gordon, 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
It does not appear the Leafs are going to be penalized. Face off to the right in the Toronto zone. .9:12 to play in the third period. Toronto 4, the Hurricane 2. And the Maple Leafs are in Carolina next week.
Next Sunday. I think that's a 6 o'clock start after playing.
Edmonton here, yeah. Hurricane with it in the Leaf zone with a shot. It's a fairly easy save by Samsonov. And he will cover up on it. And Joel Edmondson gives his goaltender a tap on the fanny. And a face-off coming to his right. Draw one by Carolina. They work it into the corner, back of the net. Gunsel tried to play it back to the point. Long shot. And that deflected just in front of Samsonov, and the Leafs were able to get it out. But it's going to be cleared right back in again. Down the boards, Brody couldn't get to it. Centering pass by Gunsel didn't work. Comes back into the slot with a pass. Good stick there by Bobby McMahon to knock it away, and the Leafs are going to get it out into neutral ice. 8.5 minutes to play. Around the boards far side. McCabe drags it along the end boards. Down in the Toronto zone. It's drawing a crowd. The puck has come free. Unable to play it. It comes out in front of the net. The Leafs are going to get it off the stick of Bertuzzi into neutral ice. But the Hurricanes are right back to the attack. Aho down into the corner, but his pass is not a good one as the Leafs get to it, and they bank it down into Carolina territory to get a change going. Brought to center now by Brett Pesce and shot into the Toronto zone. Down the far side, Nekash tries to get it around the boards, but it is cut off by the Leafs, but stolen in front of the net, a shot! I don't know if Samsonov got a piece of that or not, but it just went wide. Kept in by Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi works it back to the blue line. Lays it down into the corner. Centering pass partially blocked by Tavares, but not cleared. And then Robertson is able to come away with the loose puck. And Nicky Robertson is able to skate it out of danger and carries to the line and shoots it in. It'll come to the side of the goal, and the Hurricane goaltender is going to cover up on it to stop play.
Boy, that was John Tavares that had turned the puck over in behind the Leaf net. It eventually made its way out front, and you're right. If Ilya Samsonov even gets a sliver of this, it's a game saver.
It is 4-2 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Take 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day, Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Unhibernate. Verb. To laugh in the face of snow because you drive a Subaru. As in, when I unhibernate, I have the roads all to myself because my Subaru has symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and others don't. Or, the award-winning safety in my Subaru means I can unhibernate all winter while my neighbors stare longingly from their bedroom windows. Or my favorite usage. I am going to unhibernate this winter by visiting my local Subaru dealer today. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs 4, the Carolina Hurricanes 2 with 7:19 to play in the third period. Face-off coming in the Carolina zone to the left of Kochkov. And the draw won cleanly by Toronto. Liljegren a drive, but about 2 feet outside the blue paint as Kochkov in his left hand snared that.
Carolina has not given up 40 or more shots in a game this season. I mentioned coming in, they are far and away the best at limiting shots on goal by the opposition.
Leafs try to slide it in front with a backhand. That was stopped by Kochkov. And it is played out at center ice. That is the 32nd shot on goal for Toronto. Chatfield trying to send it in, and it goes to the side of the Leaf net. Samsonov leads for Joel Edmondson, but his feed for Liljegren was a little out of his reach. Good play by Domi to back up that play. And Robertson gets it to the line, but doesn't get it elevated enough to get it out. Drop pass comes to Chatfield and a shot. That was deflected wide of the goal. Domi trying to tie up his man. Puck comes around the boards to the near side. Edmondson tying up his player. The puck still free along the boards. Poked ahead. McMahon one-hands it, but doesn't get it to Nylander. On the left wing side, and a shot. Blockered away by Samsonov again. But the Leafs are being hemmed in their own end here. And Nylander finally gets to it and is just able to elevate it down the ice. Now it's rolling to the goal line and over, but no icing because the player who was in position had headed to the Carolina bench. 6 minutes to play. Down into the corner. Lyubushkin got it to Riley, who gets it ahead, and Noah Gregor trying to launch it high and over the line. Here's Dewar into the corner. Connor Dewar stops, let a shot go. That was steered wide on the short side. Leafs come away with the loose puck. Need to play down in this end of the rink for a little bit, if for no other reason to give Samsonov a little bit of a breather. Against the boards is Camp. Into the corner, a centering pass, and it was intercepted by Carolina. Turned over again by the Leafs, and now brought in by Jarvis. Jarvis works down into the corner. Now centering pass didn't work. Far side, kept alive by Shea. Sent around on the near wing. Centering pass in front by Gunsel was just off the reach, and it's cleared around the boards to the far side. Another centering pass is off a stick and up into the spectators. On the near side, a deflection off the stick of David Camp. Still there's no penalty. And 5:11 remains in the third. The Leafs 4, Carolina 2. Maple Leafs trying to continue their winning ways. They've won 12 of their last 15. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Their voices defined pop music and pop culture for the past 5 decades. In celebration of Women's History Month, the Billboard Women of Pop Top 1000 Countdown. The Her Story of the Pop Charts. For a limited time on Channel 79 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
With Tyler Toffoli of the New Jersey Devils.
Lindy Ruff, is he still the prankster in the room?
Just a quick little funny story. We had the little playoff football pool, and me and Nate Bastion won. Lindy obviously came up to me right away and asked where I was taking him out for dinner. He's been great at it, just with the whole season and being there, talking to all the boys when things aren't going well, and just trying to encourage us to play up to our potential. It's been good. He's awesome.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, overhand!
And get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Last 19 games for Willie Nylander, 13 goals, 13 assists, 26 points. He has his 36th here tonight, made it 2-0 in the second period. Scrum draw, but Carolina comes out with it with a centering pass that was fanned on, and then another shot is stopped by Samsonov. And he's able to cover up on it, or did he? No, it came to the side of the net, and it's knocked away there by McCabe, and it's cleared out at center ice. Looked like he had a glove on top of it initially, but
Samsonov was the one that not only knocked it loose, but right into the blue paint.
now it does come to the side of the goal, and Samsonov is going to cover up on it. 35 shots on goal for Carolina.
Well, the Hurricanes average. Sweet. I'll find the right paper here. Here they are. Average 25.4 shots against per game, which is best in the NHL. Ahead of the Flyers and the Florida Panthers. The Leafs are already at 33. Although Carolina with some gaps that have allowed the Leafs to score off the rush.
Bouncing puck in over the line. Brought in now. Here's a backhand by Bertuzzi. And into the glove of Kochkov to stop play.
Leafs have done this with more regularity of late. That lob out of the zone. And that time almost developed into a 2-on-1 between McMahon and Tyler Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi eventually gains control of it, but has to spin and throw the backhand towards the net. Kochkov makes a good glove save.
Face-off controlled by Carolina and carried to center ice. Long shot well wide of the goal, comes around back of the net. A centering pass knocked away by the Maple Leafs, Bertuzzi, and cleared high into neutral ice. Slavin back after the puck. couldn't make a pass. It comes free to Matthews in front of the goal. Shot by Bobby McMahon went over top of the net. Another goal by the Leafs have put this one away, one would think, with 4 minutes to go. Right now, just protect the 2-goal lead is foremost on everyone's mind. We'll keep an eye on Kochkov to see when he might get the hook. Down into the corner. Centering pass. There goes the goaltender. End of question. Kept alive back of the net. McCabe ran out of room but got it to Brody, who gets it ahead for Domi, who sends a long alley-oop into the right wing corner. Too far for Willie. Nylander centers in front of an empty net. No one there except one of the Hurricanes. Now back to the Toronto blue line. Brody, a pass up ahead. Nylander for Domi in over the line. Diving it, trying to make contact and send it to the empty net, but it just failed to make contact. Necas back in his own zone. Flipped it ahead. 3 minutes to go. In across the line. Camp couldn't get it away. And then trying to get it out. The Leafs don't, but they bank it down.
Boy, they got
wide of the goal.
They're calling a hooking penalty here.
On Toronto?
Yeah, it's going to be against David Camp. Camp. Little hook on Slavin right at the Leaf line. And the reason they call it, Joe, is because it looked like there was going to be a change of possession. But 2:54 to go. David Camp, who is the insurance marker, the 4th goal of the game for the Leafs. But one of their top penalty killers will not be available. Rod Brindamore, I believe, in the Carolina Hurricanes have called a timeout. 2:54 to go, and it'll be a 6-on-4 advantage for the Carolina Hurricanes.
And if there is a small underlined advantage, the Maple Leafs can take a shot at the empty net without risking icing. They have scored 6 shorthanded goals this year.
I believe still McGregor's shorthanded goal, not an empty netter. Maybe.
I think you're right.
I think that's where some of the stats get a little skewered, right? Zarman has let us know. These specialty teams in March have been outscored 7-1 so far, and that includes the shorthanded goal by the Philadelphia Flyers on Thursday night.
And a power play goal here tonight by Carolina.
By the way, with Willie Nylander scoring even strength, coming into the game, believe it or not, he was the only player in the top 15 scoring to beat minus. Willie came into the game -1.
Which, when you think about Austin Matthews, he's plus 23 coming into the game tonight. The draw won by Carolina. 6-on-4 is the power play opportunity here with the net empty. Burns walks the line. Dishes it off on the left wing side. Aho gets it down into the corner. Back to Sebastian Aho on the far side. Working into the half boards. Looks back for Burns. It goes off a skate. And Burns makes a pretty good play just to keep it in. Here are the Hurricanes again to Burns. One-timer coming off a leg. Far side, a pass back to the near side. Gunsel tried to get a shot away, and that deflected wide. Burns keeps it in. Burns walking into the slot, dropping it off. Sebastian Aho blocked. Shot at an empty net. Wide.
That was Willie Nylander with a chance from the face-off dot to the right of Samsonov.
He scored an empty netter the other day, and it just went down like a rocket.
Yeah.
Here's Sebastian Aho getting it around into the corner. Gets it returned at the blue line far side back to Burns. Burns to Aho, has to catch up to it. Aho with 57 seconds left in the power play. Into the slot. Gunsel let it go to Burns. One-timer on the far side. Joel Edmondson with a big shot block. Burns with it again to Aho on the far side. Gunsel's in front of the net. Aho far corner. Back to the blue line for Orlov. Back in front of the goal, and they tip it in. It will be Sebastian Aho coming off the left boards.
This is a great pass by Slavin. Top of the right wing circle. Looking far side. Finds a seam to the back post. Pardon me, that was Dmitry Orlov. 7 with a great pass. as the Leafs took away the middle, but Sebastian Aho found the puck outside the crowded box. And boy, Ilya Lyubushkin just misses this as it's redirected. 132. Kortskov will go back into the Carolina goal. Boy, the Leafs have had trouble protecting leads, especially in this building, haven't they?
And the Hurricanes win the face-off and shoot it in, and there goes Kortskov back to the bench. Puck into the Toronto zone. Flipped to the line, but not out. Kept alive on the far side as Nylander didn't get it past the defenseman Shea. Near side for Burns. Burns chipping it along the boards, intercepted by the Leafs and played out at center. Burns knocking that down before it got anywhere near the empty net. Now the Leafs on the near boards can't keep it out. It goes back in and quickly off a play on the left wing side. Kotkaniemi knocked it down. Leafs trying to get another opportunity to get it out, and they do.
Boy,
Less than a minute to go.
It was Jake McCabe that tried a cross-ice pass that went off his skate.
Brought right back in again by Necas. Works in on the left wing. Tried to drop it off on the short side. That was stopped. Leafs give the puck away in the corner. It comes back to the blue line. Walking the line with it there is Shea. Drops it off into the left wing corner, and a shot goes wide of the net. 6 attackers with 30 seconds left. Kotkaniemi with a shot. That hit his own man in front of the net. It comes back to the blue line. Shea to Burns. One-timer one over top of the goal. Back to the blue line again. Shea to the far side looking for Burns once more. Into the corner. Centering pass back of the net. Off a stick. Grabbed off by Kotkaniemi once more. 8 seconds left. Burns a shot. Scores! With 5.8 seconds left.
Too many of these on the year for the Leafs. Surrendering multi-goal leads. It starts with a David Kampf penalty. And the Hurricanes score with 2 seconds left in the second period to make it 3-2. And now they add 2 more here late in the third. The tying goal coming with 5.8 seconds to go. And specialty teams, which I include 6-on-5 as, have just been a dagger for the Leafs. And this is, again, Sebastian Aho is going to get this as well, and the Leafs are going to have to go to overtime. And these are the things that absolutely are a must to clean up and be better at in the postseason. We've seen Colorado come in here, overtake a 3-0 deficit to win in overtime. Red Wings were down 2, beat the Leafs in regulation. In a game that they had played so well, they can't hold off the Hurricanes in the final 2 minutes of regulation.
We're back with overtime. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
There are many peculiar words in the English language. Words like solivigant, peregrinate, nemophilus, peripatetic, and conviviality. Yet, there is no word for getting the most out of winter in your Subaru, thanks to symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and X-Mode. Until now. We call it unhibernate. As in, while your neighbors stay home, you'll be unhibernating all winter in your Subaru. So peregrinate to your local Subaru dealer today, and welcome to Uncommon Winter Confidence.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
So we go to overtime. After Sebastian Aho scored back-to-back goals with 6 attackers on the ice, 1 on the power play from Gunsel and Orlov, and then his 27th from Burns and Kuznetsov. So a couple of the newcomers figuring prominently in the comeback as well. And this game is sent to overtime.
And really the turning point was the David Kampf penalty. You know, you're talking during the commercial break. As soon as you lift your stick off the ice and reach towards the opposition, if you're successful, you'll get a penalty.
Draws controlled here by Carolina. Goes back down back of the net. Slavin waiting for teammates to swing. Burns is heading to the bench to get a change. Aho remains out there. And the pass comes ahead. Martinuk works around back of the net and starts out. To center and down into the left wing side it comes now. Trying to work around back of the net was Nekash. He had it knocked away. The puck comes back to him though. Comes back into the slot area and a shot off the stick. It blew the stick right out of the hands of Samsonov, but it goes up into the screen out of play.
Well, I understand the mentality of having David Camp take the draw in overtime. But if you lose it, now you've just burned a shift with Austin Matthews on the ice with David Camp. In fact, they almost got caught as everybody was blowing the zone early when the outlet pass was blocked.
That shot went off the shaft of the stick, which knocked it right out of the hands of Samsonov. And Tavares won the face-off, but it's stolen back, and then an errant pass, and Nylander's out. Nylander along with his man, a pass into the slot for Tavares. Sent it wide of the goal, and way up the ice now Kotkaniemi. Working in on the left wing, trying to work in Kuznetsov with a chance, and that was stopped by Samsonov. Nylander counters with one man back. Tavares takes his pass. Tavares closes, shoots, and that's off the mark wide. They're trading chances here. Kuznetsov brings it back. Kuznetsov has it knocked off his stick, and a lead pass for Matthews is just out of his reach. The goaltender will play it ahead. Brought on in over the line by Carolina with a shot. It was whistled wide by Nekash. Nekash playing it back, and Shea will carry it all the way back into neutral ice. Shea gets it back up at center. Gunsel is out on the ice as well. On the near side, Nekash with a spinning move had it knocked off his stick. Domi is able to play into an empty corner, and Riley gets there first. Morgan Riley got it ahead. Gets a return pass. Tried to make a drop pass. It didn't work. Now here's a break for the Leafs in front. Domi's alone. Shooting. Hits the goalpost. Puck is still free, and the goaltender's lost his stick. Leafs with it again, roll it in, and it is gloved, but a penalty for slashing coming against Carolina.
Yeah, I think Sheldon Keefe will be using the timeout here as Austin Matthews and Max Domi do a great job keeping it into the Carolina zone. And the puck squirted free to Matthews, who came out of the left wing corner, and just as he tried to go forehand, backhand, took the slash from Jake Gensel. And the Leafs will go to a power play 4-on-3 and try to redeem themselves and get the victory. And this is a pretty good penalty to take. Austin Matthews roaring out of the corner.
Well, you're right about the timeout. They will draw something up here. 4-on-3. The draw will be in the circle to the right. Kochkov. Matthews, Domi, Nylander are all over the board, seem to be the ones most involved in this. Well, let's see who they actually are going to send on. Riley, Matthews, Bertuzzi, and Nylander. So the draw to the right. See if there's a little Irish luck still left in the tank here. Draw to the right in the Carolina zone. Scrum, but the Leafs control. Nylander doesn't shoot it. Works back along the right wing side. Now takes it to the net. Goes around back of the goal. Into the slot area for Riley. Near side Matthews. He's going to stretch it out into the slot area. To Morgan Riley on the near half boards. Back to Matthews. Back to Riley. Centered pass in front. Just tipped by Bertuzzi just wide. Here's Nylander to Matthews, who doesn't shoot it, to Willie. Nylander onto the left wing side. Riley looking back for Matthews, and it was partially deflected. Matthews to Nylander again. Nylander stretching it out. Looks into the corner and finds Morgan Riley. Back to Nylander. Holding to Matthews, a one-timer! And getting across was Kochkov to handle that.
Boy, I think Matthews is trying to go 5-hole on this. Just got it a little elevated. And a little more into the midsection. Kochkov, by the way, Joe, is playing right on the goal line here. So you might be able, if you're Willie Nylander, somebody to look up from the high slot. Yeah, rip it in.
Draw one by Carolina, and they're going to get it airmailed down the ice. Matthews gets an outlet pass from Samsonov. He's going to work to the line and bring it in. Played it to himself into the corner. Still with it as a pass comes back to the blue line. Morgan Riley and Domi are there. Now to the left wing side. Matthews dropping for Domi. Domi shoots into the glove of the goaltender with Tavares on the doorstep. And the Leafs have got 4 forwards out there now.
I like this, though. Get some traffic in front, and this time it was John Tavares looking for the rebound. Max Domi got the shot through. Korchkov did a pretty good job of finding the rebound before John Tavares could.
Tavares will take the face-off. Matthews poised in the slot. And the draw scrummed, and it's going to be won by Carolina and shot down the ice. Played up ahead now for Matthews. Matthews to the line and in, plays it to the right wing side to Domi. Back into the corner to Matthews. Saucered back to Max. Domi into the slot, down low. Matthews can't handle it cleanly. Carries off the boards, works into the middle of the ice back towards the blue line. To Domi on the right side. Domi to Nylander, and a shot was partially blocked. Nylander comes away with the loose puck. Centering pass to Tavares. Backhand off the pad, and a great save made by Kochkov. Now to Domi, and he found on it. Matthews to the far side. Nylander unable to control a one-timer. Stolen off by the Hurricanes and shot down the ice.
Well, the Leafs start into this mode of throwing blind passes out to the slot. And that'll do it for the power play.
42 seconds left in overtime. 4-on-4 here until a whistle. Morgan Riley gets it ahead. One-handed in over the line by Bobby McMahon. Camp goes into the corner after it, trying to tie it up. McMahon got it freed. Back for David Camp. Camp taken to the boards. He and Orlov battle for it, and Camp is the one that comes out with it. Now to Liljegren coming out in front. Into the slot and a shot. That hit a leg. Another shot by Riley. Went just wide. Camp back to the blue line to Liljegren. Down low, and a shot from a sharp angle is handled there by Kochkov with 3.7 seconds left in overtime.
Now, should this go to a shootout, Carolina's 1 win, 4 losses in the shootout. The Leafs have won 5 of 6 that have gone past overtime.
Great play made there by Slavin, who was able to get a glove on a centering pass and knock it into the corner.
Well, disappointing how we got here, though, wasn't it? 3-0 lead, then a 4-2 lead with less than 2 minutes to go.
Draw to the right in the Carolina zone, just the final seconds, and the draw won cleanly, but too cleanly, and it's come out at center ice to end the overtime. So the Maple Leafs will go to a shootout. And they certainly had their opportunities in the overtime on the power play. The shots on goal are going to finish at 40 apiece.
And both are a rarity for the Carolina Hurricanes this season. First time this year Carolina's given up 40 shots in a single game. Isn't that unbelievable? You want me to double check what we got time?
No, let's just go with it.
It was just an earlier glance. See, they gave up 36 early in the season in one game. Oh, my apologies. There is a 45 shot and that was against the Florida Panthers a few games back.
If you hadn't have gone and checked,
I would have been
no one else would have gone and checked.
I would have been right.
Yes, that's right.
Like Willie Nylander will be the first up for the Leafs here in the shootout.
So Nylander going from right to left on your radio dial will be the first Leafs shooter. He scored his 36th goal earlier in the season, or in the game, on a breakaway. And here he goes. Works to the left wing side, now right down through the middle, a little deke and a backhand, and a pad save by Kochkov.
It's kind of the same move that Willie Nylander scored on in the second period.
Shooting first for Carolina, number 92, Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Now, Evgeny Kuznetsov, who's known for the slowest route to the net, is 3 for 6 on the season with the Washington Capitals.
And here he comes, taking a long skate up to the loose puck.
Slow it down.
And then slows it right down. He's working to the left wing side, top of the circle, creeping closer to the net, almost stationary, shoots into the pad of Samsonov. You know what? Someone should throw a flag. That's delay of game.
I've heard comments, and some people think that however slow he goes, it's still faster than Jason Allison at full speed. He played for the Leafs. Here's Austin Matthews.
Yep. Matthews works to the right wing side. Leading goal scorer in the NHL. Backhand and into the forehand. And it is stopped by Kochkov. No one has been able to score yet. Boy, he made a pretty good deke.
Yes.
I think the backhand might have been the play, too. And now Svechnikov.
He's 0 for 3 on the season.
And he works to the left wing side. Slowly into the right wing circle. Into the slot area. Missed the net by maybe 12 feet on the backhand.
I look like one of those, I'm going to change my mind at the last second. And knifed it wide, so no goals. And Max Domi, 2 for 3 on the year in the shootout, including the game winner.
And he gets a chance here. Domi, a left-handed shooter, left wing side, cutting to the middle of the net, and poke check, flying poke check by Kochkov. And he denies Domi. Good play.
Now, you may remember he did the exact same thing to Brady Tkachuk in a penalty shot in Ottawa. Tkachuk had his head down, and actually Tkachuk went after Kochkov, and a chance to win it, though, for Carolina.
Gunsel will get the chance. In on the left wing into the circle. Deke and scores. The former Pittsburgh Penguin makes the move and slides it between the wickets of Samsonov, and the Carolina Hurricanes are going to come from a 2-goal deficit with their goalie out to score on the power play with 6 attackers, and then with 6 attackers tie the game with 5.8 seconds left and win it in a shootout.
And that is a recipe for disaster, isn't it? You give up late goals in a period, you surrender. I mean, this is another 3-goal lead that the Leafs have coughed up, and it comes at home ice again. They blew a 3-0 first period lead against Colorado earlier. And time now, though, for
Molson 3 stars. Who have you got?
Well, it changed in a hurry.
It did,
I thought I had him with 5 minutes left, but Sebastian Aho, 2 goals, 3 points. I will go star number 1 for Carolina. Star number 2, Jake Guentzel, had 2 assists and the shootout winner. And from a Leaf standpoint, let's be a little sentimental and give it to the underdog. Nick Robertson had a goal in this game. For Robertson, he was also +2 on the night in 11 minutes and 8 seconds of ice time.
So the Maple Leafs will revisit the city of brotherly love when they tangle with the Flyers Tuesday night. We'll have that action for you beginning at 7 o'clock as the Maple Leafs drop this one in a shootout 5-4 to the Carolina Hurricanes. Post-game coming your way. Gord Stellick along with Justin Cuthbert. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Once a year, the best fantasy baseball analysts get together to compete against each other.
Grand Slam! Mookie Betts!
And Fantasy Sports Radio is the only place to hear all the action. Learn winning strategies and player evaluations to help you dominate your league.
Shohei Ohtani is going to be an intriguing offensive player in a lineup that is going to have all kinds of firepower.
The Tout Wars National League Auction tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Conference contenders and was doing his job in trying to get it.
Why do you think General Manager Chris McFarland was as active as he was?
Well, it's kind of funny because I go back to the 2019-2020 Tampa Bay Lightning and the guys that they picked up with all of the talent that they had. And I think that the Avalanche learned in 2022 that depth and the idea of being an angry team wins in the postseason. You can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have those guys that will stick their teeth into something, you're not going to make it past round two. And I think they addressed that, certainly with Brandon Duhaime and Jacques Trenet. And I think that idea that the third and fourth line can cause problems for other teams is the biggest sort of ingredient in winning long, drawn-out series against other teams. And I think that those two guys added that grit.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, yeah, that's the Avalanche, right? Like, there is this vibe about, and I think it probably comes from Nate McKinnon, right? Like, he always
100%.
Seems like he's in an angry mood, and not in a bad way, but just like ultra determined and clearly just not here for a good time and lollipops and rainbows. Like, he's here to take a pound out of you and stand over you and scream at you while he's doing it. And I really do think that filters on down through the team.
Exactly. And to be honest, it filters through the media. I mean, I don't
know about that, because you and Moj and McGahey and Katie are always perpetually very effervescent individuals.
I would agree with you, but there is a timidness, for lack of better words, when you go around Nathan McKinnon, that you're going to respect him no matter what. So the joking sort of takes a back seat when you're around him because he, I'm not saying he's not a fun-loving guy, but it's all business with him. And I think, who's going to benefit the most maybe from this? And I hesitate to say it a little bit because I'm not sure exactly of the culture in Buffalo, but Casey Middlestat, I think, will benefit from being around Nathan McKinnon and sort of the attitude that there is one way, there is one direction, there is one goal. And it's too often used as a cliche, but I'm not kidding when I say that Nathan McKinnon is an absolute bulldog in everything that he does. And it's infectious, and everybody in the locker room knows it. You respect it. You get on board. You're part of it. And when you were talking about angry, it is an angry thing, and it doesn't stop. And even after they won the Cup in 2022, I felt like he wanted another game almost. It's almost like he wasn't done playing. And that's sort of the attitude that I think this team has taken on because of Nate. And so angry might be the best way to describe it.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 930, Sabres on Internet 923. 12:30 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Ottawa Senators. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938, Senators on Internet 940. 3 p.m., Pittsburgh Penguins face the New York Rangers. Penguins on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 942, Rangers on Internet 939. 5 p.m., Arizona Coyotes take on the New Jersey Devils. Coyotes on XM 220 Internet 921, Devils on Internet 937. 6 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on XM 219 Internet 932, Lightning on Internet 946. 7 p.m., Calgary Flames take on the Montreal Canadiens. Flames on XM 223, Internet 924. Canadiens on Internet 935. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets on XM 222, Internet 928. Sharks on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Boston Bruins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins on XM 221, Internet 922. Flyers on Internet 941. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 947. Hurricanes on Internet 925. 8 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Minnesota Wild. Blues on XM 207, Internet 945. Wild on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the LA Kings. Stars on XM 220, Internet 929. Kings on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks face the Washington Capitals. Canucks on XM 219, Internet 948. Capitals on Internet 950. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Nashville Predators. Kraken on XM 222, Internet 944. Predators on Internet 936. 10 p.m. Edmonton Oilers face the Colorado Avalanche. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 931. Avalanche on Internet 927. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
While most of the attention is on the NHL's upcoming postseason, Jason Gregor, host of The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 AM in Edmonton, joins Dave McCarthy on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 91, to talk about a club that may not see playoff action for some time. Gregor says the recent deal that saw the San Jose Sharks send forward Thomas Hertl to the Las Vegas Golden Knights should have set off alarm bells for Sharks fans.
2 years ago, the Sharks were bad, but the organization didn't want to admit it. And so now, retaining salary for 6 years, I know it's only 17%, but it's still so the Sharks are going to be terrible again, Dave, next year. And they can't even if they want to trade off some of their players, they won't be able to retain any salary next trade deadline because they have Burns, Carlson, and Hertl on retention. They can't do it.
Exactly. And then they've got two of those slots used up really almost till the end of time with Carlson and now Thomas Hertl. Does that almost tell you, is that a message being sent from San Jose to the fan base, to the players, being like, folks, buckle up. It is going to be some time before we get good again? Because I like what you said. That's a real cautionary tale for Pittsburgh. What it would have meant if they had have signed Jay Gensel this year, it would have been the Thomas Hertl situation from a couple of years ago. Okay, they ended up getting there first, but what you've done is you've burnt 2 years in the process and haven't moved your organization forward. You do have to look reality in the eye sometimes and recognize when you're not good and make decisions that you maybe would rather not make, but no, you have to. So at least Pittsburgh made the right call on that situation with Gensel. But is that to you a signal in San Jose that it's still going to be a long time before they're any good?
Oh, Dave, they've missed this will be, I think, 5 years in a row they missed the playoffs. And I'll say, because this is the first year they finally admitted they're rebuilding. So to me, I'll tell Sharks fans, you might have another 7 years before you're a playoff team. Look at their team. Who do they have? Which prospects do they have coming? Will Smith? Other than that, who else? They're probably going to have to hope that they are terrible and then they win the draft lottery in 2 years and get the young kid out of Medicine Hat, whose name escapes me right now. Is absolutely killing it as a 16-year-old. But, that's kind of where they're at, man. They got all those bad, Logan Couture. Now, the concern about Logan Couture, Dave, is his career might be over. Health-wise for him. So, they'll have an LTI space, but they're not going to spend at a cap. Why would they? The team's terrible. So, what they have to do is try to at least get guys on short-term deals like Chicago's doing, right, to at least give a semblance of professionalism in your room around your young players. Have guys like Nick Foligno and other guys who are true pros. You pay him $4 million a year because you got all the cap space in the world, but Vlasic's a $7 million player. Hasn't been a $7 million player for 4 years. There's another cautionary tale of, I think the one mistake in hockey, and more organizations need to inherit the Bill Belichick. And bordering on Vegas. Vegas is the one team that isn't afraid to be like, hey, nothing personal here, but guess what? If we don't think you can do it anymore, they went out and got Thomas Hertl, basically telling the guys on their team now, well, we're not going to re-sign all. Jonathan Marchessault, you're probably done.
right? Like they don't have money. They can't afford them.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 930, Sabres on Internet 923. 12:30 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Ottawa Senators. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938, Senators on Internet 940. 3 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the New York Rangers. Penguins on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 942, Rangers on Internet 939. 5 p.m. Arizona Coyotes take on the New Jersey Devils. Coyotes on XM 220 Internet 921, Devils on Internet 937. 6 p.m. Florida Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on XM 219 Internet 932, Lightning on Internet 946. 7 p.m., Calgary Flames take on the Montreal Canadiens. Flames on XM 223 Internet 924, Canadiens on Internet 935. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets on XM 222 Internet 928, Sharks on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Boston Bruins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins on XM 221 Internet 922, Flyers on Internet 941. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 947, Hurricanes on Internet 925. 8 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Minnesota Wild. Blues on XM 207 Internet 945, Wild on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the LA Kings. Stars on XM 220 Internet 929, Kings on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks face the Washington Capitals. Canucks on XM 219 Internet 948, Capitals on Internet 950. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Nashville Predators. Kraken on XM 222 Internet 944. Predators on Internet 936. 10 p.m. Edmonton Oilers face the Colorado Avalanche. Oilers on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 931. Avalanche on Internet 927. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
The rebuild continues in La Belle Province. Connor McKenna is one of the co-hosts on the morning show on TSN 690 All Sports Radio in Montreal, and he joins Boomer Gordon on The Point on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 91, to go over another season of rebuilding for the Canadiens.
I sometimes don't know where the Montreal Canadiens are in their development. When you assess this season, what do you think Habs management wanted this season to be? And if you are giving them truth serum, even though it's not going to be a playoff year, do you think enough good things are happening right now that they would consider this year a success?
Short answer, yes. And, longer answer is that Martin St. Louis was interviewed yesterday, and he's been such a pleasure to cover and to listen to, and his insight's been so appreciated. And, he was musing about the last time the Canadiens and Bruins played each other and brought up the fact that the game went into the third period with the Bruins up a goal, and then things got out of hand, I think is what he says. And everybody in the room kind of had a laugh. What happened was the Bruins scored 4 unanswered goals and beat the Canadiens 9-4. And he talked about how that was a bit of a wake-up call for the group, that they really came together and played a lot better in the aftermath of that game. But I was kind of marveling at the fact that this is a team that finished 32nd 2 years ago, 28th last year, sit 27th in the standings right now, and the head coach is musing humorously and getting laughs about a blowout loss against their arch rivals. And nobody's in this city is batting an eyelash. People feel so good about the group that's running the show and believe in them that the fan base is on board. It's kind of an amazing thing to see, because I don't think in the history of the Montreal Canadiens we haven't really seen a rebuild. We don't know where this road ends, but I'd say that overall, of course, there are some dissenting voices out there who want to win now, but I'd say overall the buy-in from the fan base is remarkable.
Well, my thought is I think the rebuild should end soon, Connor, and this is one of the things I wanted to get in with you. It feels like the Canadiens have been stockpiling draft picks for about 8 years now, and the reason it feels that way is because they have been, and it's great to have a lot of picks. And I know there was a GM change a few years ago, so maybe you draw a line between the Bergevin era and the new administration and kind of a rebuild out of a rebuild, but at some point, we need to transfer those picks into players, and I know they're doing that now, and we got to turn those players into wins. So if I was a Montreal Canadian fan watching the deadline thinking, okay, great, we acquired a couple more picks, but we already have tons of picks. We have tons of picks this year, next year. At some point, we're going to need to win some hockey games, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I saw Kent Hughes being interviewed about this during the intermission on TSN the other night, and he told Kenzie Lalonde that the goal for next season is to be competitive and certainly not to finish in a spot where you're drafting 5th, 6th, or 7th overall again. And I think that's the way you handle that if you're Kent Hughes. You don't want to get into those kind of waters where you're saying, the goal next year is the playoffs. Well, if you do that in a market like this with the kind of scrutiny that the team is under and that every word the general manager utters is under, and you don't make the playoffs, or even if you say we want to compete for a playoff spot and then you don't compete for a playoff spot, they're going to hold your feet to the fire.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 930, Sabres on Internet 923. 12:30 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Ottawa Senators. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938, Senators on Internet 940. 3 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the New York Rangers. Penguins on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 942, Rangers on Internet 939. 5 p.m. Arizona Coyotes take on the New Jersey Devils. Coyotes on XM 220 Internet 921, Devils on Internet 937. 6 p.m. Florida Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on XM 219 Internet 932, Lightning on Internet 946. 7 p.m., Calgary Flames take on the Montreal Canadiens. Flames on XM 223 Internet 924, Canadiens on Internet 935. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets on XM 222 Internet 928, Sharks on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Boston Bruins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins on XM 221 Internet 922, Flyers on Internet 941. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 947, Hurricanes on Internet 925. 8 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Minnesota Wild. Blues on XM 207 Internet 945, Wild on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the LA Kings. Stars on XM 220 Internet 929, Kings on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks face the Washington Capitals. Canucks on XM 219 Internet 948, Capitals on Internet 950. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Nashville Predators. Kraken on XM 222 Internet 944. Predators on Internet 936. 10 p.m. Edmonton Oilers face the Colorado Avalanche. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 931. Avalanche on Internet 927. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
In recent years, the Carolina Hurricanes have maintained their status as Eastern Conference contenders, and on the Sunday brunch on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 91, Canes television play-by-play guy Mike Maniscalco tells host Dave McCarthy that the team looks to be ready to take another shot at it in this year's postseason. He points specifically to a special team and to a couple of trade deadline pickups.
The penalty kill has been off the charts since early December, Dave. And now you get spoiled because you expect it every single game that they're going to do what they keep doing, which is shutting down the opposition's power play, which is what they've done. They don't cheat you on effort. They give you, This is what they're going to do. They're going to do this the same way. When they get it rolling, when they just keep the other team hemmed in their own end. Now, they're going to give up some chances because they let their D get aggressive and jump in on plays. But, the goaltending's been sharp. Basically, you're reading a really good book where the chapters keep moving by, and they're kind of similar, but that formula is what works and what keeps you turning the page, and that's what's been working for Carolina.
Yeah, I like what you said about effort. They never do cheat you on it. And the odd time they do, the head coach reminds them of it, and then they get right back to playing the way they need to play the next day. I mean, it's tough to look a guy like Rod in the eye and cheat the guy on effort. But look, man, when we have Don Waddell on the brunch, I keep telling folks, you got to listen because he basically just comes out and tells us what he's going to do. We had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he said, well, like, I like our team, but I think we need to improve it a little bit. I want to go out and get a forward. I'd love to get a centerman, and that's exactly what he did. What does it tell you about the activity that he got up to at the deadline, that the Canes went out and got a guy like Jake Guentzel and got a guy like Evgeny Kuznetsov? So I guess about where they feel this team is at in terms of its ability to contend for a Stanley Cup.
Well, Dave, I'm going to use a phrase that had a lot of the Canes fans kind of wringing their hands and rolling their eyes, which is this front office, this coaching staff, liked the group, meaning they had confidence in the guys who were there, who were on the ice with how they were playing. But these two moves, because as everybody's saying, it's uncharacteristic for Carolina to do what they've done. Maybe at the trade deadline, but it hasn't been uncharacteristic for this team to go out in the offseason and add pieces, adding, since Don Waddell has been named the general manager of the team, and you've got Rod Brindamore as coach. This is a group that's gone out and made a big trade where they traded Elias Lindholm and Noah Hannafin to bring in Dougie Hamilton and Michael Furland and the rights to Adam Fox. They've taken big swings. They did make two big deals a few seasons ago when they brought in Vinny Trocheck and Brady Shea. So it's kind of this misnomer that they hadn't gone all in the last few as we were going to go playoff runs. And the funny thing about it is, this team wins every year in the postseason. It's not like they're 1 and out. It's not like they're being swept. They've got 2 Eastern Conference final appearances in the last 5 seasons. So I don't know about, the metric system math, but that seems pretty good to me. But you're also in this phase of, if you don't get to the Stanley Cup final, what did your season do? Did you do enough? And I think that they looked around and saw what the prices were for that center and for a playmaker, a game breaker in Jake Guentzel. Both Kuznetsov and Guentzel are playoff performers. You take a look. The track record is there. The history is there.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 930, Sabres on Internet 923. 12:30 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Ottawa Senators. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938, Senators on Internet 940. 3 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the New York Rangers. Penguins on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 942, Rangers on Internet 939. 5 p.m. Arizona Coyotes take on the New Jersey Devils. Coyotes on XM 220 Internet 921, Devils on Internet 937. 6 p.m. Florida Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on XM 219 Internet 932, Lightning on Internet 946. 7 p.m., Calgary Flames take on the Montreal Canadiens. Flames on XM 223 Internet 924, Canadiens on Internet 935. 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets face the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets on XM 222 Internet 928, Sharks on Internet 943. 7 p.m., Boston Bruins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins on XM 221 Internet 922, Flyers on Internet 941. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 947, Hurricanes on Internet 925. 8 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Minnesota Wild. Blues on XM 207 Internet 945, Wild on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the LA Kings. Stars on XM 220 Internet 929, Kings on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks face the Washington Capitals. Canucks on XM 219 Internet 948, Capitals on Internet 950. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Nashville Predators. Kraken on XM 222 Internet 944. Predators on Internet 936. 10 p.m. Edmonton Oilers face the Colorado Avalanche. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 931. Avalanche on Internet 927. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Some hockey observers expressed surprise at just how busy Colorado Avalanche General Manager Chris McFarland was as the trade deadline approached. But talking to host Dave McCarthy on the Sunday Brunch on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 91, Avs television broadcast crew member Kyle Keefe says McFarland simply knew what the team needed to remain Western Conference contenders and was doing his job in trying to get it.
Why do you think General Manager Chris MacFarland was as active as he was?
Well, it's kind of funny because I go back to the 2019-2020 Tampa Bay Lightning and the guys that they picked up with all of the talent that they had. And I think that the Avalanche learned in 2022 that depth and the idea of being an angry team wins in the postseason. You can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have those guys that will stick their teeth into something, you're not going to make it past round two. And I think they addressed that, certainly with Brandon Duhaime and Jacques Trenet. And I think that idea that the third and fourth line can cause problems for other teams is the biggest sort of ingredient in winning long, drawn-out series against other teams. And I think that those two guys added that grit.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, yeah, that's the Avalanche, right? Like, there is this vibe about, and I think it probably comes from Nate McKinnon, right? Like, he always 100%. Seems like he's in an angry mood, and not in a bad way, but just like ultra determined and clearly just not here for a good time and lollipops and rainbows. Like, he's here to take a pound out of you and stand over you and scream at you while he's doing it. And I really do think that filters on down through the team.
Exactly. And to be honest, it filters through the media. I mean, I don't
know about that, because you and Moj and McGahey and Katie are always perpetually very effervescent individuals.
I would agree with you, but there is a timidness, for lack of better words, when you go around Nathan MacKinnon, that you're going to respect him no matter what. So the joking sort of takes a back seat when you're around him, because he, I'm not saying he's not a fun-loving guy, but it's all business with him. And I think, who's going to benefit the most maybe from this? And I hesitate to say it a little bit because I'm not sure exactly of the culture in Buffalo, but Casey Middlestat, I think, will benefit from being around Nathan MacKinnon and sort of the attitude that there is one way, there is one direction, there is one goal. And it's too often used as a cliche, but I'm not kidding when I say that Nathan MacKinnon is an absolute bulldog in everything that he does. And it's infectious, and everybody in the locker room knows it. You respect it. You get on board. You're part of it. And when you were talking about angry, it is an angry thing, and it doesn't stop. And even after they won the Cup in 2022, I felt like he wanted another game almost. It's almost like he wasn't done playing. And that's sort of the attitude that I think this team has taken on because of Nate. And so angry might be the best way to describe it.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Detroit Red Wings take on the Buffalo Sabres. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 930. Sabres on Internet 923. 12:30 p.m. New York Islanders take on the Ottawa Senators. Islanders on XM 219 Internet 938. Senators on Internet 940. 3 p.m. Pittsburgh Penguins face the New York Rangers. Penguins on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 942. Rangers on Internet 939. 5 p.m. Arizona Coyotes take on the New Jersey Devils. Coyotes on XM 220 Internet 921. Devils on Internet 937. 6 p.m. Florida Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Panthers on XM 219 Internet 932. Lightning on Internet 946. 7 p.m. Calgary Flames take on the Montreal Canadiens. Flames on XM 223 Internet 924. Canadiens on Internet 935. 7 p.m. Columbus Blue Jackets face the San Jose Sharks. Blue Jackets on XM 222 Internet 928. Sharks on Internet 943. 7 p.m. Boston Bruins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Bruins on XM 221 Internet 922. Flyers on Internet 941. 7 p.m. Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Maple Leafs on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 947. Hurricanes on Internet 925. 8 p.m. St. Louis Blues face the Minnesota Wild. Blues on XM 207 Internet 945. Wild on Internet 934. 8 p.m. Dallas Stars take on the LA Kings. Stars on XM 220 Internet 929. Kings on Internet 933. 10 p.m. Vancouver Canucks face the Washington Capitals. Canucks on XM 219 Internet 948. Capitals on Internet 950. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Nashville Predators. Kraken on XM 222 Internet 944. Predators on Internet 936. 10 p.m. Edmonton Oilers face the Colorado Avalanche. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 91 Internet 931. Avalanche on Internet 927. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, March the 16th. All games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.